We should do the Letterman thing. Letterman's in some hot water today.
What happened?
He did a Sarah Palin joke. It was a great little joke.
I didn't hear it.
And then he was on a show trying to explain. This is everywhere today. This is Letterman from last night.
Sarah Palin was in New York this week. The hardest part of the trip was keeping Elliot Spitzer away from her daughter. Now that's... Wow. I'm surprised we haven't heard from Elliot Spitzer either. But, now, I'm not necessarily proud of these jokes. I mean, we do stuff all the time, and our objective here is to get a laugh, and thank God, we don't have to go to The Hague before the World Court to defend them. It's a joke. That's all it's supposed to be. That's what this is. Now, here's the other joke they're upset about. Sarah Palin went to a Yankees game yesterday. There was one awkward moment during the 7th-inning stretch. Her daughter was knocked up by Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, good joke. Good line.
Now,
the fuck?
It's a sports joke.
I'm telling you, I recognize that these are ugly.
Yeah.
These are actually ugly. These are borderline, but again, in an act of desperation to get cheap laughs, which is what I've been doing for the last 30 years. Why didn't we hear from Alex Rodriguez?
There you go. No big deal.
That's really good.
Sarah's all over it, though. She's pissed.
Well, I think because the daughter that went to the game with her was 14.
Yeah, but
it wasn't the other daughter.
Yeah, but Letterman was just generalizing.
It wasn't Bristol. It was
it was the other one.
It was the other one.
The hotter one, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they all have like snow names. Didn't we talk about that one time?
Yeah.
They're like Alaskan names. Like money for nothing because you live in an oil state.
They're going after fucking Letterman still, man.
Well, she is.
Yeah. No, but now there's the women's group. Where are we at with that?
Going after.
Hold on a minute. Women's advocacy group wants an apology from Letterman for the Palin joke.
He made a couple of. He made a mistake. He made a joke about. I think she had brought her 14-year-old daughter. He made a couple of jokes about her. Her daughter was like a hooker, and that she got knocked up by A-Rod. And she's
funny material.
I heard
she's fucking fuming.
In error. It may have been a bad judgment choice.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
Yeah.
And it has context to it because her other daughter is an unwed fucking mother.
Well, they're focusing on the fact that the wrong daughter was in town, but if you're like a joke writer, for Letterman, Palin's in town, okay, what can we do with Palin? Yeah. That's all they're thinking. They're not looking at the itinerary and saying, she's here with the younger daughter.
But they're discredited.
It's just Palin material they're going for.
They're discredited because they went after Obama for the retard thing on Leno. And I'm like, eat my ass. Like, why would you... I'm not going to fall for that banana in the tailpipe, man. I'm not going to be upset when retard doesn't mean some fucking kid who, it doesn't mean simple Jack. It means, dude, you're a dick. It means I'm a dick I'm an asshole when I bowl.
Yeah, you
I'm a retard.
something up. You're a retard.
Look at this one. I mean, fuck. What was the headline?
There's a 700-pound bitch on TV right now.
I know, but you got to see what the story's about. A girl.
Brutally
yeah, but they just showed the crime, and I can't remember now. She was beat up,
burned with cigarettes or something,
and then they cut her hair off in a Chicago park.
Face and scalp were burned with cigarette lighter.
Are these the girls that did it, or are these the girls that had it happen?
Must be the ones. Look at her, big fat lonely girl. She probably got beat up. It's amazing what they're not pointing out, though.
Okay. Is it racial?
I know. It actually might be.
It's some black girl,
white and black beating her up. I can't tell.
That skinny one, boy, is on top of this big mule.
Yeah.
And they just cut her hair.
What'd she do?
I don't know. Probably just was her.
But the thing is this: when David Schuster made his comment about Chelsea Clinton, and they crucified him for it, he got suspended for 2 weeks, and he should not have gotten in trouble for that. And it's just the same thing happening to Letterman. It's like
you know what? It's great for business.
Yes and
if
no.
He can hang in there.
This is a rough one. Letterman will survive it.
He's going to have to say something.
Oh, he did. He did say he was sorry.
I know, but that wasn't enough because they're still going after him. So he's going to have to say something.
His apology.
If David Letterman said, shut up, how fast would that go away?
Yeah. It wouldn't. I'm telling you, not because she's Sarah Palin, first of all, and she's being vocal. And
what does that mean?
She gets a lot of media coverage. She can get the media coverage
not
whenever
anymore,
she wants.
and she's irrelevant.
It's Letterman.
But look at her. They're talking on fucking the Today Show.
They have nothing else to talk about.
So I'm saying she can get media coverage. She can get media coverage, and she can complain. And there's enough people who like her who don't like liberals.
What is she asking?
I don't know, to be honest with you. But I'm saying there's enough people that like her and are Republican that would fucking kick it up a storm.
But what is she coming on just going, like, is she going, David should do this? Or she's just going, I heard her thing was like, that wasn't right, Mr. Davey Letterman. And then, like, what does she want now?
I don't know what
she
she
wants.
or something,
but she's attacking him. And she's saying that he was implying he wanted to have sex with a 14-year-old, which is obviously not true. But the bottom line is, to hear that from someone who is just a vice presidential candidate is fucking damaging.
Why wouldn't somebody on the news say, get over it, get a hold of yourself, bitch?
Yeah. Because if somebody made a sex joke about Michelle Obama or a fucking called her a hooker,
true that,
there would be a fucking an outcry, and she's an adult.
She is not. You are not hearing any Michelle Obama-ness going on.
Except by the fucking kid. That's the only one who makes fun of her.
Who's the kid?
Me.
Did you refer to yourself in the third person and not your name, you dick?
Well, no, I of course I made fun of her.
What does the kid say?
I made fun of her on Letterman. Her dumb eyes.
Oh, I made fun of her on Red Eye.
Yeah, but
Letterman.
Nobody is really fucking with her. They used to fuck with Hillary's ankles. They used to fuck with the fact that, that she had a lot of pressure on her. And also Sarah Palin, they ruthlessly dogged this bitch.
Yeah.
And no one really...
Do you think Palin's going to be a player?
No.
No way. The Republicans are leaving her.
No.
Of course not.
She's goofy.
She still gets a lot of coverage.
They attacked her because she's hot and she's against abortion. She's like a conservative Republican, which just really annoyed people, I think.
Let me go to Kat. Kat, what's up?
Hey, I was watching the Today Show today, and Sarah Palin was saying that she was upset because this is lowering the self-esteem of young women today. But as I remember, I had low self-esteem in the 90s. My mom had low self-esteem in the 60s. And I'm sure if I asked my grandma or great-grandma, they had low self-esteem back in the 1800s. So I don't know why Sarah Palin is trying to make everything seem so rosy.
Well, it's like this. You can't blame Sarah Palin for sounding off about this anymore. I don't like Hillary, but I didn't blame her for trashing MSNBC. When it's your daughter, you kind of got the right to talk a lot of shit about it. I don't,
Yeah, the claws
Hillary,
come out.
I felt the same way when Hillary did it.
Yeah.
But the thing is
Look,
that she's saying rape jokes are the reason why girls are having low self-esteem. And you know what? I'm sorry. Anything to do with rape, it's a joke. Laugh at it. If you're not going to laugh at it, you're going to cry.
Can I ask you a quick question?
You know what? Palin should speak her mind, obviously, and then just move on. I mean, what, you want Letterman fired or something?
Can we discuss this really quick for like a minute?
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just generalizing. Like, what does she want in the end? She didn't like the joke. All right, speak your mind, get your point out, and that's it. That's how it should work in America.
Can I say this?
End of story.
Is this you?
Can I go on a limb?
Is this you, Kat?
Yes.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
Who's Kat?
I don't know, Kat.
I'm the abortion doctor.
Abortion doctor.
Oh,
Remember
the good egg.
She was up in the studio.
I heard Letterman coming back in, and he's in trouble still.
Oh, that's Sarah Palin thingy.
She's loving the attention. She's all about getting attention for herself. For what reason, I don't know, because she doesn't have a shot at being our president ever.
No.
Ever.
She's put in that category of people that have been... they were vice presidential candidates or even presidential candidates, and they kind of stumble during the campaign, and everybody piled on. And then they have that stigma for the rest of their political career of being that person. I mean, a prime example is somebody like Michael Dukakis.
Oh, my God.
Now, Michael Dukakis was ripped apart by, I believe, the elder Bush when he was running for president, and it was... You cannot get the image of him with that giant tank helmet on. Bobblehead fucking Dukakis. And he thought it was going to be this picture of, here's Michael Dukakis in a tank, and it's going to show him as powerful. And look, you don't be afraid. He's going to be in a tank.
Because they were worried that he wasn't a powerful guy and that he wouldn't take care of foreign business. So they're like, all right, we'll do a little photo op. We'll show them.
The Bush campaign took it. That's how bad it looked.
And ran with it.
And they showed him actually in the tank. It was a video, not so much a still picture. And his head was going like, like bobbling. And he never lived that down.
And Kitty was what, drinking?
And Kitty's drinking.
Rubbing alcohol or whatever the fuck she can
Listerine and fucking Raid.
She's got a hose to her mouth into the fucking gas tank of the tank.
Yeah, just amazing.
And Palin's not I don't think she's a bad lady. I think she's way too conservative, and she was wrong for the country, but she's got a reputation as being like this awful woman, and she's fine.
I don't even think she could be the leader of broads, to be honest with you.
No, she's way too conservative.
She's, whatever. but she's getting a lot more attention because of this Letterman joke, which was just a joke. And I think Letterman explained himself, and that's where it should end. But for some reason in our society, no, because it is way more important than all the other horseshit that's going on in this country.
That's stupid.
Yeah. America can't afford that risk. That's why we didn't vote Dukakis. It says America can't afford that risk.
Wow, he really does look stupid.
Oh, this is the Bush ad?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, now it makes sense. This should have been just a joke. Should have got the explanation from Letterman, and that should be it. But for some reason, this day and age, that's never it. They keep going and going and going until they destroy your livelihood.
Yeah.
And then in the end, nothing gets accomplished, by the way. Nothing. Mm-hmm. We just go back to making our jokes as human beings.
Yeah. I mean, what did he say that was really horrible? He talked about her, what were there, date rape, a joke that he did?
Well, A-Rod got her pregnant during the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah.
Keep your daughter away from Elliot Spitzer.
Yep.
And, Letterman was just going with the whole thing. Oh, Sarah Palin's in New York. Let's do some Sarah Palin jokes.
Right.
He wasn't paying attention to which daughter was in town, and that's what they're trying to focus on. They're insisting that he was making a joke about a 14-year-old. Do you honestly think David Letterman would go on his show and make a sex joke about a 14-year-old? Absolutely fucking not.
I can tell you for a fact he wouldn't.
Not.
I just did the show, and one of my jokes was, I'll tell you what, I went through it on Letterman recently.
This is for real, right, Jimmy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go through standards and practices, and Eddie Brill's a buddy of mine who's a comedian. He tells you kind of like what Dave likes, what he doesn't. So one of the jokes I had was, I forget how it went, my girlfriend's really liberal, which I guess is normal when you're in high school. So Eddie came back and he goes, yeah, the high school thing, they're just a little concerned. It could be misinterpreted as being an underage girl. And I was kind of annoyed, but it's like, I got it, CBS. So I came back and I go, well, how about 18? So I changed, that's how I ultimately did the joke. I'm like, a girl who's, that's normal when you're 18. And he goes, okay, fine. He comes back. He goes, look, they're a little, they still think it's like a teenager. I'm like, look, dude, it's like
God.
18
but
is
this is
the
how
age
they are
of
over there.
consent in every state of the union. And he went back to them and they were like, okay, fine. They didn't break my balls about it. But I mean, that's how concerned they were with doing anything that could be misinterpreted as like I want a fucking underage girl joke.
They would never do that.
They just
with a 14-year-old. They would never let that through.
Nah, because he even said Dave doesn't like that stuff. Like, and this is off the record. He's just telling me this. He's like, nah, Dave hates that stuff.
He was so playing with the fact
girls.
that the daughter got knocked up.
Yeah,
he wasn't. He wasn't even talking about the 14-year-old.
Yeah.
So why don't we start there, you idiots out there?
Yeah,
including Sarah Palin. You're supposedly smart enough.
Yeah,
Why don't you do a little research on Letterman? You'll see that he's not a fan of the underage jokes to begin with.
More knee-jerk
But
bullshit.
anyway, it leads to today, and now we go after Andrea Pizer. She, what paper does she write for, Ant?
Oh,
New York Post.
It's the Post.
Yeah.
And she's just, you got to read every single word of this article.
By the way,
This
sometimes
is
Pizer is
ridiculous.
okay. Like I go back and forth with her. Like sometimes I like her, and other times I want to cut her feet off.
Well, this one I don't like her. When I read this, right from the first little paragraph, I thought, all right, this woman has no idea what the fuck she's talking about when it comes to this stuff. Do a little research. Andrea Pizer, the headline, sick of the late hate show with Conan and Dave. That's the whole
So all of a
thing.
sudden, because of one, well, she's going to give you an example of a Conan joke and an example of a Letterman joke. All of a sudden, it's a hate show?
Yeah,
really?
they're
That's a
hate
big.
shows.
That's a big jump right there.
Yeah, I know.
If someone, quote, slips.
Hate.
How does it go from slipping with a joke in some people's opinion to now your whole show is about hate? That's ridiculous.
Hate
you should be
and,
fired for misrepresenting these late night talk shows.
Well, it rhymes.
Hate
That's
and
all it is.
racism. No, hate and
late.
racism are used much too much.
Oh yeah.
In circumstances where they just are not even relevant. But hate, the late hate show with Conan and Dave. And then Andrea writes, Johnny Carson is rolling over in his grave.
Probably get another drink.
Even the late Lenny Bruce is having a fit.
What?
Right
Lenny
there.
Bruce is
Lenny
having a
Bruce?
fit. The guy that was all about pushing the envelope.
Let me give you a little bit of a.
Are you kidding me?
I'll give you a little bit of a thing on what this article is about. She doesn't like the fact that women are being victimized in humor these days, and that she sees it as white women, especially, are the last holdout of people that you can joke about with impunity. Not true. Not true. If you're a white guy,
look at TV commercials.
If
it's
you're
all
just
about
a
making
white
fun of the
guy,
white male.
you're a fucking moron. You can't do anything right without your intelligent wife or your black banker helping you out. You're just a dummy.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got that wrong. But the whole thing, if you remember Johnny Carson, she's thinking of what? The little animals on Johnny's head, and oh, that's fun. Oh, look at that. He's doing a little bit or something. He's doing Karnak. How about the Mighty Carson art players, where he wheeled out, what was her name?
You said it to me.
Yeah,
the big-titted monster.
That
the big blonde.
Carol Wayne.
Carol Wayne.
Carol Wayne was part of the Mighty Carson art players.
Look up images of Carol Wayne.
And she came out, and Johnny was like this, he'd play kind of this shyster sales guy.
Oh, right.
And he'd have like a pointer and stuff, and everything he said was a monster tit joke on this woman. Mm-hmm. Carol Wayne.
That was the only reason she was famous in Hollywood, and the only reason she was on fucking Carson.
And the second she'd talk, because she would say something, and he'd pretty much go, "No, shut up.
Right.
Just keep your mouth shut. No.
Right.
Did anyone hear her?
Right.
No. You know, it was all about degrading this woman.
Yeah, so why would Carson be rolling
on her tits?
Why would he be rolling over in his grave? He did way worse than Letterman ever did.
Yes.
Way worse. On a regular basis.
But she's like, Johnny Carson's rolling over in his grave. What, to get a better look?
Right.
It's not, she has no idea what Carson did. She's looking back at Carson with the rose-colored glasses on, my friend. And Lenny Bruce, stop it.
Lenny Bruce took
He's having a fit? Sorry, I don't think so. Lenny Bruce would have been all for anything being said.
If Lenny Bruce was alive, he'd be like, thank God we could still make fun of something.
Yeah.
He was all about just making fun of everything.
Yeah.
But he was like, all right, all these guys are off limits. Well, I'll still be making fun of women.
If Lenny Bruce
and
was
white males, what the fuck?
If Lenny Bruce was alive, the type of comedy he did, he'd still be saying nigger. He'd be saying cunt. He'd be saying everything you're not supposed to be saying.
Right.
And not to be hateful, but he was one of the first guys to say you remove the power from those words when you're using them and you're making fun of them.
Which I totally agree with.
And he'd probably be wondering why in this day and age it's still going on.
He would have wanted to spit in Sarah Palin's face, and he would have loved Letterman's jokes.
We put so much power into these words. Mm-hmm. It's so obvious. So obvious.
Yeah.
At this point, just let the word fuck everywhere. What is the big deal with the word
The children.
fuck?
The children.
The
children. It's always about the children.
You're not really around children these days, Aunt. No. They say fuck.
I know. They love the
Everybody
word.
says fuck.
Yeah. Uncle Paul. And then, so the first paragraph there it's sentence. It's really annoying.
Can I slow you down again, Aunt? Is it true that Carson also punched his wife?
Well, there
According
were
to cigars and scotch?
There were allegations of domestic
unrest
in the Carson house.
But
he was married and divorced many times, and he did make a lot of divorce jokes, and they were not very pleasant as far as his wives went.
Yeah. But focusing just on his show, he pretty much, looked at women like they were second-class citizens on his own show.
Yeah. Even sex objects.
Even his Hollywood guests, like Raquel Welch, can I pet your pussy or whatever the fuck he did?
I think that was urban legend, but
really?
Yeah, I don't think it was ever said. If you would you like to pet my pussy if you move the cat?
Right.
But
he would
never would have. Yeah, that's urban legend.
I'll look that up.
It's urban legend. Go to Snopes. They'll fucking fill you in.
Sorry about that.
So she says that, and then it's like, we were watching David Letterman, a bitter guy who never saw a woman or a Republican he could stand, trashing Sarah Palin's 14-year-old daughter by joking that she was date raped by Alex Rodriguez and stalked by Elliot Spitzer. You may have missed the memo.
Hold on, he didn't say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, he didn't say date raped.
Of course.
He said knocked up, and he was talking about the 18-year-old who was pregnant, and he said knocked up. So
she's elaborating.
Which, by the way, the guy who said the joke explained what he meant by his joke. You idiot.
I've done the show. You can't do pedophile jokes on his show. He hates them.
And if he mentioned the young daughter by name, then you got a point there, Andrea Pizer. But he explained exactly what he meant by his joke. And the history of his show proves otherwise as well, because he didn't allow little Jimmy Norton to do his underage joke.
They say he just doesn't like them.
And all that would have taken was a little research on your part, you dopey reporter.
Yeah, it's just lazy.
And she's got to give this dig on Conan, which is ridiculous. His struggling brother up the dial, Conan O'Brien. It's like,
first of all, they're not brothers.
The guy, well, I think brother in
late night talk shows.
Yeah, she didn't mean literally.
But no, I understand that. But they're fierce enemies. They wouldn't consider themselves, brothers in any form of the word.
I think she's just trying to say like they're brothers in the late night war thing. But
whatever.
The whole thing is struggling. Is like the guy just started in the slot. Maybe give him a little time to see if he's struggling. He's just doing a show, struggling. So because she's got to say that. On Thursday night was having a blast, slurring women and Jews, two groups that may constitute the last permissible sick comedy staples. Here's Conan, and then she gives the example of Conan's joke. Political experts say that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to endorse what he calls a two-state solution for Israelis and Palestinians to live side by side, but have no contact. Netanyahu said, "It will be exactly like being married to a Jewish woman, but bump." She puts, but bump. Live side by side, but have no contact, just like married with a Jewish woman. All right, that's the joke. In my house, I rolled my eyes with disgust. But my husband, who happens to be married to a Jewish woman, shouted at the television and started to change the channel.
He probably yelled, "Good point, Conan." What did he shout, lady?
Shouted at the television, "Good point," and then went to the History Channel.
They never suck your cock anymore, Conan.
Conan seemed to realize he'd blown it. He fumpered, I don't even know what word that is, pointing to the one convenient, identifiable Jew in his staff, the band leader Max Weinberg, and said, "That's the first joke written by Max Weinberg." The band leader grinned stupidly and put his thumb in the air.
What'd you want him to do? Boo, you dummy?
Yeah.
And to say that Jews are victims, let's be honest here. Jewish people are not victims in show business. You can't say that they're abused or mistreated because somebody makes a joke about staying married to a Jewish. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
It's based on a stereotype. It's been around for years. It's a joke. Take it as such.
The only thing I'll agree with her on is, would someone, and this is any host late night, any of them, would they have made a joke about a stereotype about a black woman? Never.
She goes into that.
Never.
It goes without saying that if you change the races, make a joke about African-American women or Latinas, you'd be groveling to Al Sharpton's feet before the show ends. I'll agree with her there, that happens. I don't agree it should, that's for sure. But women, specifically white women, make up the last group that one may freely stereotype to get a cheap laugh. I don't believe that.
No, I don't either.
I think, again, white men are really fucking just fair game to be portrayed as dummies. In marriage, they're portrayed as the weak, stupid guy that just brings home the money, doesn't know how to do anything. The wife's got to help him out, put his fucking clothes on, feed him, and shove him out the door to the retard bus. Not surprisingly, the left has been notoriously silent on the issue. Where are the marches, the boycotts? The National Organization for Women did elect Letterman into its Media Hall of Shame. How scary. Well, what are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? Put him in TV jail? Letterman replied that he thought he was joking about the sex life of Palin's 18-year-old daughter, not the 14-year-old one. He thought he was joking about... No, you don't say, "I thought I was joking about that." You were joking about that.
Right.
How would you say, "I thought I was"? But mistakenly, I would... Right. No. The 18-year-old one was the one that got pregnant, right?
Yes.
All right, so he was joking about the 18-year-old, dummy.
Makes for a better joke if you're referencing something that happened.
Right. What happened to the 14-year-old? Nothing. So he's not fucking talking about her.
Right.
Christ.
Stupid. It's so obvious to me. Why?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to spin this another way?
There's no way he's talking about the 14-year-old because the 14-year-old wasn't involved in this stuff. The 18-year-old was out of wedlock, pregnant.
When you make a joke, you try to reference something.
Yeah.
Right?
I love this part, though. In 2006, I attended and then it's in quotation marks, comedy fundraiser at Town Hall.
What does that mean? That means there wasn't comedy there?
Right. She said the word comedy was in the fundraiser thing, but as far as she's concerned.
So you find other things funny and not what you saw that night.
Comedy fundraiser at Town Hall to raise money for homeless women, at which alleged funny man Louis C.K. Now, you know something?
Who alleges it?
I don't care who the fuck you are. Louis C.K. is funny. You might not find his comedy to be your cup of tea, lady.
But he's proven his funny.
He's proven he's a funny
funniness.
guy. The guy is hysterically
He's proven
funny.
his worth in funny.
He's clever. He's funny, creative. There's no denying it.
Just look at his resume. He's been involved with a lot of funny things.
Yeah. And this dumb bitch is complaining about white women and Jewish women being stereotyped, and all she's doing is coming off like a fucking prude.
Yeah.
Like a stick in the mud prude who can't take a joke, who wants to be heard. It's like you have a column in the New York Post. How badly, like, what else do you need to be heard?
Yeah.
You need protests? You don't want women made fun of? Shut the fuck up.
Oh, I bet she laughs her ass when Whoopi Goldberg goes off on fucking, George Bush when she was doing that, or, she's laughing her ass off no matter how tasteless the joke is. But, because that's another woman, and yuck, when that friggin' frying pan faced, what's her name, Cho.
Margaret
Cho starts fucking going off on her shit. I bet she thinks it's hysterical.
See, I don't think Margaret Cho is funny, but others find her
love her.
Right, so I'm not gonna put her in quotations.
Yeah. Quotations.
Right, you're right. She's not a quote-unquote comedian. She's a comedian.
Yeah.
She's a comedian that I don't find funny, but many, many people do, to the point where she's making a very good career.
She doesn't do a quote-unquote comedy act.
Comedy.
No, it really is a comedy act.
It really is. It's just not something you like.
Right. Do you question if someone gets a bad blowjob, did they get a quote-unquote blowjob? No, they get a blowjob that wasn't good.
Right.
So don't say, there's no allegations of Louis being a funny man, or it's not an alleged comedy show.
It was a comedy show.
Yeah.
She should have said, in 2006, I attended a comedy fundraiser at Town Hall that I did not find funny. I personally did not find funny.
Right.
That's fine.
But she wants the whole world to find it not funny, because she doesn't find it funny.
I attended a comedy fundraiser with alleged funny man Louis C.K. No, funny man. You don't find him funny because you're a prude. Louis C.K. joked about decimating his stupid 4-year-old daughter by bashing her head in.
Good.
God damn, who does that? Louis, it's great.
Louis honest about the annoyance you get at your kids. I don't have kids, but he's like, all parents feel it, and he's just fucking brutally honest about it.
And he's a fantastic father. He's not bashing his kid's head in because he's picking his kid up at school. He's dropping her off. He's doing things. I mean,
he's made it very obvious that he just loves his kids to death.
Yeah.
He has stopped comedy routines that he was doing on the phone. Maybe they're not routines, but just being funny on the phone because his kid needed something.
Yeah, immediately. But she doesn't know that. It's alleged funny man.
Why would you do research on the person you're trashing in your article, you dope?
And then she goes, comic Patrice O'Neal gave men lessons about improving their orgasms by paralyzing their partners while in the act.
What year is this, by the way, this fundraiser?
3 years ago.
2006, yeah.
And now she's referencing it.
Yeah.
Like that's you have to reach back 3 years to find other things about girls you didn't like, you fucking prude.
Yeah, she put this in her file, just waiting to use it someday.
What a terrible fuck she must be.
She probably has files on everything, waiting to reference them.
Here's the horrible part. And this was a fundraiser for homeless women, many of them victims of domestic violence. By comedians?
So how about this? So. Louis and Patrice both make a lot of money. Both gave their time and brought their art to help these women. And what you do is you get in and you analyze a piece of the art that you didn't like, you dumb fucking broad.
Yeah.
You dumb... if Stephen King had come and done a speech and raised money for domestic violence or whatever it was, or say children who have been injured, would she go back and analyze that it had murdered children in it?
Murdered children.
Of course not.
Right.
That was wonderful of them. But once again, fucking comics, people have to analyze everything we say as, oh, that was inappropriate. That was fine. That was inappropriate. Fuck you, lady.
Yeah, you are looked at in comedy. You are looked at like whatever the fuck you're saying is your real, honest, personal feeling on the subject, instead of it being comedy. Like you said, Stephen King has written books about, I don't know how many friggin' stories he has with dead kids in it. You know? Look at Pet Sematary.
Right.
Kid just gets plowed over by a tractor trailer. It's fantastic. And, where's the outrage? Oh, my God, he's obviously hates children. And
right.
No. But a comedian does something about, bashing his 4-year-old daughter's head in because she's being annoying. It's a joke. He's not literally taking his daughter's head and bashing it in.
And he's not saying, hey, all kidding aside, the way to deal with this is to bash your daughter's head in.
Right.
And everyone knows that. But for some reason, people feel safe being and empowered when they object to humor. I don't fucking understand it. And you can never give into it. You have to just, like a woman like this, just attack her verbally.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's war on white women. Only this one is being fought with water.
Where's the war?
There's no war on white women.
What are you talking about?
I'm fighting it with my cock.
Mind. Yeah, that's where the war is.
Yeah, that's what Letterman was thinking. We're at war, so, I got this little ditty. He made a million jokes that night.
It's war on white women.
Attention.
Only this one is being fought with water balloons and whoopee cushions. Being the, comedians are doing it.
Be more funny.
Who's using water balloons and whoopee cushions?
And that, by the way, is why.
Oh, it's war on women. That's who's using it. Jesus, give me a break. Wielded by men who think statutory rape and racial slurs are funny. I'm not laughing.
Who cares if you? And she's right. I do think both of those things have humor value. They're not funny. Here's what she doesn't get: statutory rape, you dumb broad, is not funny. Most racial stereotypes aren't funny. That's the beauty of making people laugh at them.
Yeah.
You fucking dumb broad.
The talent in making people laugh. Oh, here, poor little Gage. Oh, get your kite string, Gage. That's fantastic. Little
Did they really
Gage
run Gage over for this?
Oh, hell yeah. They really ran over a little kid.
No,
Look at his little bloody shoe.
No. Holy
that's
shit.
fantastic.
They wouldn't do that these days.
Not fair.
I've never
Little Gage is a creep.
Never seen the movie.
Really?
It's a creepy
The
movie.
book was fucking horrifying. And there's a great part in the book where King's at the wake, and he was just talking about if one more person comes up to him and talks about how at least he didn't suffer, he said, I'm going to scream.
Yeah,
One more person says that to me. I forget how he wrote it, but he's so good.
Right. Let's go to the phones because everyone has an opinion on what Ant was reading today. David in North Carolina, we start with you. You want to stick up for who?
Yeah, I want to stick up for Palin. I don't agree with the way she's going about this, and I certainly don't agree that somebody should lose their job over it, obviously, because I'm an O&A fan.
Right.
But at the same time, this isn't like a one-time incident. I'm sure she would have let it go if it was.
No, but
they've been pounding her for months.
But the thing is, when you get a candidate do you think, look up how many late-night talk show hosts have goofed about George W. Bush and how stupid he is and everything else during his administration when he was president of the United States. It opens... When you enter the political forum, and especially when you're running for an office as high as Vice President of the United States, the talk show hosts are going to pummel you on whatever you put out there. And if you're this conservative Republican, and your daughter gets fucking knocked up out of wedlock, they are going to fucking jump on it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, just the constant pounding. She's not a Washington regular. She's a governor in Alaska.
Doesn't matter. She put her face in there. She put her foot in the old ring to become vice president. And now that she's done and got back, Geraldine Ferrara, she went through the same shit with her fucking husband. Did he go to jail for that?
There were some tax issues.
There were some tax issues. I mean, that whole thing happened. the first George Bush and his old bag-looking wife. I mean, you could go back and look at stuff that had happened with any president.
Clinton and the cigar?
Yeah, Clinton, the whole sex thing with the cigar, Monica Lewinsky. I mean, how many fucking instances was that brought up? At night after night for years that went on.
Yeah, but aren't you tired of it? Just seems like
might be tired of it.
Thing after thing, incident after incident. But any time a conservative, especially a conservative woman, says something, oh, it's open season, man.
You're right about
her apart.
You're right about one thing, in the sense that I don't know if it's a conservative woman, but it is much safer, and this is across all forms of entertainment, to attack a conservative or a conservative woman than it is to attack a liberal or a liberal woman or a black woman, because the liberals, who are a lot of times, kind of involved in the media, and the more vocal ones will not attack you for attacking conservatives.
Exactly.
But that doesn't make it right. Just because liberals are very phony about where their outrage comes, it doesn't make it right.
There's another reason, though, that the conservatives are the butt of a lot of the jokes and the liberals aren't, is conservatives, just by nature, open themselves up to hypocrisy because of their stance and their platform.
Yeah, true.
It's this whole wholesome family values, things like that. So then when something happens and they trip over their own dicks, or one of their kids gets pregnant out of wedlock, it makes them look like a hypocrite, and that is fuel, man. That's fuel right there.
Yep.
There's a couple things going on.
A liberal could just say, oh, hey, this, fuck it. I got a gay daughter. I did this. My daughter got knocked up. Who cares? But they're going to be, they're a liberal. They, probably taught that way of life in their family. The conservatives, though, they got to walk that line. The second they teeter from it, it's joke time.
There's a couple things going on. What's that website, Danny? It's called Fire David Letterman.
Yeah, unfortunately it is.
There's a website called Fire David Letterman. What?
That's stupid there. Nobody should be losing their job over
right.
this.
All right, well, I appreciate you at least
according
saying that.
to this guy, Michael Patrick Leahy, he should be fired.
Hey.
And there's a sample letter that you could cut and paste that, shows your outrage.
Well,
and
we're not
nice how he stole the Drudge format for his website.
No kidding. It's firedavidletterman.com.
Listen to the opening paragraph of this letter, though.
I encourage the listeners that don't agree with the firing of David Letterman or the attempt at that to go there and state your opinion. Yes, Danny.
It says, Dear Late Show advertisers, as an advertiser on the David Letterman Show, you endorse his point of view. I am appalled that your company supports the rape of young girls.
But it's just like
motherfuckers.
But it's great that to be honest with you, I'm glad that this idiot worded it that way, because that is so obviously no advertiser, even if they're a little nervous, thinks that Letterman supported the rape of a young. It's like right there. He's just wrecking his fucking case.
And they're attempting to have a rally this Tuesday outside the Ed Sullivan Theater.
You know what else?
How many of our listeners can we get together for Dave?
An advertiser doesn't necessarily agree with what the person is saying on a show they're advertising on. They are getting an audience that they are targeting for their product. It doesn't necessarily mean they agree with everything. Where did that fucking come from?
That started a while ago. So, and they're attempting a rally, so there'll be some people out there tomorrow. That's for sure.
Who's Michael Patrick Leahy?
Her name sounds familiar.
Oh, look at him.
Some author, apparently. I've never heard of him before.
Oh, okay. So
he's
he's trying to sell some books. Okay.
And then he has his books there. Great. That's wonderful.
Can we is it possible to get him on the...
Let me say hi to David in Kansas City. David.
I was going to.
Morning, boys.
Hey.
Talking about what you used to be able to get away with on TV.
Yep.
Now, this is going to make me sound like a real hillbilly. RFD channel, where Imus is at, has Hee-Haw on.
Of course.
And they were out in the cornfield the other day, and big old fat Lulu asked Junior Samples. She said, tell me something nice. She said, for a great big fat girl, you don't sweat very much.
Yeah. Oh, that hee-haw.
That's pretty funny, though. Great big fat girl, you don't sweat very much.
That rules. Let's go to Jared in Boston. Jared.
Hey, she mentioned she was watching Conan with her husband, right? Is there anything in the article mentioning that he was yelling at the TV while fucking her through a sheet?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
See, those are the type of hate-filled jokes that...
I love them.
This is a great observation from Mark in Connecticut. Mark, he picked up on something that you read in that article there, Ant. Mark.
Hey there, Mac.
Yeah, what's up, fellas?
Hey.
When
Pizer,
yeah,
is quote unquote Conan. She's saying that Conan, that Max that she saw in reality is a joke. That he was ashamed of his own joke.
Yeah, let me help you out. Your phone's crapping out, and basically, Mark pointed out that she said the husband turned the channel after that Conan joke.
Or was about to.
Yeah, she
does it say about to? I thought it said he changed the channel.
I think he started to change the channel. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay. Because Mark is pointing out, then how would Pizer know, how Conan handled the joke that didn't go so well?
Started to change the channel. How do you start to change the channel?
You either change the channel or you don't.
It's not like, what do they have, an old TV? You got to get up and tick.
Yeah. How do you start to change?
Do you see how her husband did the right thing? He heard something he didn't like,
yes,
and he went to change the channel. Nah, I don't go for that. And he turned. That's all you do. And what happened?
True.
This fucking nudge, this prude. No, leave it. So she could feel victimized, so she'd have something to write about. What bullshit.
And just to go with your point, if enough people change the channel, show goes away because it's not getting the ratings, and then the problem is solved.
Right.
You shouldn't be trying to solve the problem yourself if there's other people that are enjoying that type of entertainment, you dummy. And that's all we should be worried about. You don't like something, turn off the fucking radio station, change the channel, and if enough people do that, the problem will go away because they're not getting the ratings for the advertisers and the money.
But you are right, as far as the conservatives do kind of set themselves up for certain type of jokes and criticism because they paint themselves as the moral crusaders.
Right.
Cheney has a lesbian daughter, and
it's such a liability.
Repulsive stance they take on gay marriage, and
Cheney's a joke too because now he's like basically saying he's for the whole gay marriage thing now that he's not in office anymore. Fucking, it's all bullshit. Dennis, South Carolina, what's going on?
Hey guys, I hate to say this, but if they gonna fire Imus and everybody else, I say let's keep it consistent and go after Letterman.
Hell, fucking no, we got to stop the firings.
Yeah, just because it was wrong to fire Imus doesn't mean, and I hate to say two wrongs make a right, but you can't fire Letterman and keep the same asshole behavior going.
We got to stop the asshole behavior. That's way more important than being consistent.
The guy earlier kind of made a good remark on, I think it's personal with Palin because she's a threat. And, I mean, I saw a report the other day where, and this is after the election, there was 92 jokes about her on Letterman. This is after the election. So, I mean, it's just personal.
It's not personal. She's an easy target. She gave a lot of comedy fodder.
An easy target.
And maybe Letterman does hate her and wants to go after her, but he has the right to do that as the host of his own show.
But he's not worried about her as being a player in the Republican Party as we move forward.
I think he is.
No.
I mean, she's a major player. I mean, but I have not seen anyone fire up the nation the way she did.
She's not a major player.
Did she really fire up the nation when you really think about it now?
Yes, after the what is it well now I can't think of the word.
She's not a major player. She wasn't even asked to speak at this thing recently. Some big Republican event she didn't speak at. McCain wouldn't talk about endorsing her if she was going to run. They asked him recently. He's like, well, whoever the best candidate is.
Yeah,
she's not a major threat, man. She was brought in for the wrong reasons to counterbalance the women who were not going to get Hillary as their candidate. That's all it was.
And if you've been watching late night talk shows, every once in a while somebody comes along that is great comedy fodder for a long time to come.
Yeah.
And that's all you think about when you're trying to get the laughs out there.
Yeah, the convention is what I was trying to think of. After that,
there's so much to joke about with Palin. It's amazing.
Yeah, she's not a threat. I don't think Letterman sees her as a threat because no one else is really talking about her. So even if it is personal and he doesn't like her, so what? He's allowed to do that. He's the host.
Hell yeah.
He's Letterman.
But, I mean, I know conservatives set themselves up for that, but I mean, that's life. Everybody's got families. Everybody has daughters, sons. I mean, you can't keep your entire family on a lead.
No, you're right. You're right. But they do use their families to their advantage, too. You have to realize that if you have a family that's doing this and that, they cart their families out there because it helps them get the vote. It helps with the image. So, their families should also be fodder to be made fun of, too.
Yeah. All right, thanks, guys.
And you know what? Anthony is a Republican, so and
a queer.
Right.
And I hear your buddy. Well, I want to see if this is true. Sean Hannity says that Letterman should be fired.
Nah, how could Sean
that phone
say that?
call came in or on instant feedback?
I don't think Hannity.
I want to see if that's true or not.
Hannity has never endorsed firing anybody.
That's why I want to see if that was true
regardless
or not.
If it's he's for or against whatever they were saying.
Yeah.
I can't see that.
Sean might have said something like, if he really is making raping 14-year-old girl jokes, he should be fired.
He's not.
But of course he's not.
It's so obvious. Let's say hi to Sean in Georgia. Sean.
Oh, here he is, Sean.
Hey, y'all discussed the whole Patrice thing at the Women's Festival before when Patrice was on the air. It was about 3 years ago where he was talking about it, and then y'all read an article that same woman wrote. And
oh, really?
It was about the same, and I believe Patrice also didn't get paid for that gig because of the jokes he made.
Well, it's probably a free gig, actually.
Yeah, we'll go back and see if we can find another article on this. Thank you for that, Sean. Let me say, wow, the phones are lit. Tom, Chicago. What's up, Tom?
Greetings, gentlemen.
Hey.
Boy. Hey, Tom.
You know, Sarah Palin brought all of this on herself. She jumps into the ring with a pregnant daughter. It's not like the daughter got knocked up during the whole candidacy.
Yeah.
It was. She brought it on from day one. Everyone was making their own jokes about it. When
she was asking for it.
Huge, giant baby blanket covering her pregnant daughter. Mm-hmm. You know, so everyone was making their own jokes all over the country, and yeah, it's going to linger a long time. It didn't help the Republican cause one iota by bringing her on the ticket.
What she's doing is I think she knows that Letterman was not saying your 14-year-old daughter got fucked. Once it became obvious that he was just referencing the other one, he didn't realize what daughter was. But like everybody else, she's using this just to springboard and get out a lot of the anger she's had at the other jokes.
Right.
This is just like, it's almost like when you see it's a place for her to get her foot in the door and people to listen to her because she has a justifiable thing like, I didn't like my daughter being made fun of. So now she's using it to get out all her fucking annoyance about all the jokes and all the criticism.
I think the Republican Party should just tell her to shut up and go away for a while because she's still not helping them.
Well, you know what, though? I mean, it's like very rarely is somebody in tremendous hot water for shitting on a Republican, so they probably love it.
Of course. Let me go to Chris in PA. He's saying that Hannity did say the...
Oh, maybe he did.
Well, Chris, what do you got on Hannity?
Yeah, I sent the feedback, and I was watching last night. Now, I don't know if that's like a review from the week or whatever, but he did say he thinks Letterman should be fired for what he said, but he knows that he won't be. But he believes he should be.
But that goes against everything Sean has said over the years.
He might have said it in a way where it's like, well, if they fired Imus and they fire this, then why won't they, then they should fire David Letterman for the, like, I can't see him actually endorsing the firing of David Letterman.
Man, he's disagreed with some of the stuff we've done in the past, but said, look, but those guys shouldn't be fired. He obviously said Imus shouldn't be fired. Yeah. There were a few others. I think he mentioned the same thing when Jamie Foxx was in trouble. He shouldn't be fired.
He's probably coming.
He's always supporting the non-firing of broadcasters when they get in trouble.
He's probably saying Imus made fun of black girls or black women and got fired. Letterman made fun of a white woman or a Republican conservative, and it's acceptable. He's probably looking at it from that point of view. Like, why is CBS allowing one but not the other?
He didn't preface it. He said he thinks that he should be fired.
All right,
I'll have to see that clip, sir.
I'd be interested. I'm on his show at the end of the month. I'll scream at him for that loudly, standing up with my finger pointed. He likes that.
Yeah, we're gonna try to find that clip. Thank you, sir. Any more of these phone calls you want? We could do this for another hour. Wow. If Palin is the only hope for conservatives, then the party is lost. I agree with Rick in Nebraska.
Not many Republicans are actually backing her.
Yeah.
They don't get into her corner. They don't, it's not.
She'll fade away.
Yeah, she's not one of those Republicans that people are going, let me get right behind that.
And it's not that she's a bad woman. It's just that she kind of brought some of this criticism on herself by taking such a public stance and being a moral crusader.
Yeah.
Jim, what's going on?
I'm just finishing up. I mean,
I just want to know how come you guys haven't brought up the fact that the difference between this and the Imus situation is that the media, the comedians, and so forth looked for Palin to say something wrong to cost her the job of vice president. They examined every word she said. They looked for anything they could do to make her seem stupid, okay, which I'm not going to say whether that was easy or not. But that cost her job. When Imus made the comment, he wasn't going to cost these girls a basketball career. But when you're a politician and the media believes that it's all right to play dogpile, examine every word you say, and make you look like a fool for it, then how is that not turnabout as fair play? Why is it that it's all right for them to come out punching on her every second of the day, but when they trip over or they say the wrong thing? I mean, how many times did you hear, I could see Russia from my house? which is something she never even said.
To be honest with you, I think the main reason is because politicians, what they say, they are people that have a tremendous effect on our day-to-day life, because we're putting them in a position to basically run our lives in a way.
Yeah.
Whereas as comedians, entertainers are offering opinions, which even if you're as powerful and as respected as Letterman, his opinion is irrelevant. He's just a comedian making fun of something.
Yep.
He's not a policymaker. Hold on, buddy. He doesn't make
proves that statement's wrong.
It's not wrong.
You could say Saturday Night Live, Letterman, and shows of that such had a great impact.
No, they don't.
Because they're the ones that formed the general public's opinion of who she was.
Well, if
and the fact that she was the most popular governor in the last 75 years.
Hold on, bro, don't, you're not going to go on a roll back and forth. If they're that powerful, my dislike of Sarah Palin came after I heard her repeatedly giving the same speech, after I heard her not being able to just be on the spot with Katie Couric and sounding like a fucking unprepared idiot. Even though Katie Couric is probably biased, Sarah Palin's own words is what made me I really wouldn't want her as vice president. It wasn't Letterman. I'm a 40-year-old man. Letterman doesn't form my opinions, and if your opinions are formed by SNL, then you're a dummy. You're a dummy. I'm not gonna. Letterman shouldn't suffer. Letterman shouldn't suffer because the people are stupid.
Dummies, though, Jim?
What's that?
Can we agree that we're surrounded by dummies?
Yes, yeah, but I don't think for other people.
That were formed?
The arrogance of people, I don't think for other people. That's not my job. They don't form my opinions, and I take no responsibility for forming theirs. They should laugh at my jokes or not laugh at my jokes. That's it. What I do is not important on a grand scale. Neither is Letterman. Neither is SNL. It's all entertainment. And if your opinion is formed and you're going to vote for the vice president of this country based on a sketch you saw or based on what a comedian said, then you're a dumb motherfucker.
You're absolutely right, but this is going on, like Jim is saying. Unfortunately, there are a lot of dummies out there that form their opinion in the most ridiculous
They're
ways.
the same people that would form their opinions for religious reasons.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about
It's
that.
happening with Jon Stewart. I mean, people are getting their news from Jon Stewart. They were never supposed to get their news from Jon Stewart, but they are now.
So, Jim, you think that, Jim?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, I
absolutely think that there is a difference, and the difference is that Palin's family has been open game more than anybody else's family. I mean, you talked about Bush's wife being stabbed for being ugly, but not so openly,
Dude, the Bush daughters got
seen a situation, and I think Anthony made the point that you can't control every member of your family. I mean, if you look at the Palin situation, she's not a hypocrite. She doesn't believe in abortion and those things, which I don't agree with those points.
I'm saying
that's the reason why they kept the baby. That's the reason why they're supportive of their daughter. But you haven't seen a situation where it was okay, open season, to go out and attack somebody and their family.
Dude, the Bush daughters were constantly being brought into the news and into comedians' acts and into late night monologues.
Okay, they were constantly being brought in because they were going out and being party girls.
Well, this one was getting knocked up out of wedlock.
Yeah, it's not the same. What was
it is the same. Jesus Christ! It's not like she was this upstanding fucking college girl that all of a sudden they just started ragging on. The mother's a conservative Republican, and the girl gets knocked up out of wedlock, which is against this whole family values thing. They try to shotgun wedding the whole fucking thing, and this asshole that knocked her up wants no part of it. They tear down his Facebook site because he's a total asshole on that fucking thing. It was just fodder.
And you can't allow, dude, you can't, these candidates who bring bro. You can't allow these families to, all right, I'll just talk right over you. I'm trying to talk with you. If you can't allow a family to be brought out as a positive thing in a campaign when it makes you look good, but then not expect anything your family does to be taken to task when it makes you look bad.
I agree. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you haven't seen that sort of viciousness about somebody's family, and you can't blame Sarah for now coming back and saying, okay, you stuck your foot in my mouth and I have something on you.
I don't blame Sarah for sounding off at all.
And, Jim, whether it's right or wrong, and the thing is, I'm a longtime fan, and I agree completely with your opinion on the way things should be, okay, in terms of that people shouldn't. But the fact is, if you look at the election, the way things happened, the election happened because of images, not because of substance.
No,
and I'm not saying I disagree with who got elected, but Obama got elected because he presented a better image. People liked him.
No, it was the bad Bush image.
Yeah, I agree.
The bad Bush image got Obama elected. Believe me.
Yep.
George Bush being in there for 8 years and the economy taking a shit right at the tail end of that whole thing. I mean, there was so many factors. I don't think it was the way Sarah Palin was presented that completely threw the fucking election, to tell you the truth. It was more 8 years of George Bush and the bashing that he took. And you could say the media was responsible for a lot of that. I think that's what did it. Hey, look, I see Sarah Palin as a mom defending her daughter. Of course she's going to get out there and start saying stuff. I don't blame her for that at all. There's her daughter. It's a mother. The kid's fucking getting shit from David Letterman. She's going to jump out. But for her to try to defend it on terms of them not being in the public eye, or that her daughter didn't, kind of do this hypocritical thing as far as this family values type platform that the conservatives are trying to put across, it opens them up for jokes.
Teenager, I'll tell you, I'm not talking to any parents. Woe be the day that our kids listen to everything we say.
That's dude. No one's saying that she's a bad mother for that.
Can't control.
No, not at all.
No one's saying she's a bad mother.
And we're getting off in the direction is what makes it fair for Palin to go after Letterman's job is that Letterman and Stewart and Saturday Night Live all saw to it that they were going after her job, and that's the difference.
We're going after her job so much as going after. They weren't going after her job so much as they were going after the ease that the jokes came with what she was doing.
And your crew said it was a published quote from
Tina Fey.
Baldwin.
No,
I believe it was from Baldwin, who was involved with it because he didn't want that no matter what, they have to make sure that that she does not get elected.
But dude, even if they were trying to affect her job, the difference between comedians and performers trying to affect somebody's job is different, because comedians and performers are not policymakers.
Right.
Even if they do affect opinion, okay? I don't think they affect it to the point where you're going to vote a certain way. But even if they can sway someone's opinion a little bit, they do not sit in Congress or the House of Representatives or the Senate. They don't vote on laws and on what to do. And they don't vote to send troops overseas or to bring them home. They don't have that kind of power. So when you're a politician and people are going after your job, it's because your job directly affects the future of the country. Letterman saying whatever he wants does not at all affect the future of the country.
But every politician that gets voted into that position has those powers and abilities.
Right. All right.
So when you paint someone as an idiot, when you
have to admit she looked like one.
And you said that when she spoke to Kirk, the problem was that she was overprepared because there were too many Republicans around her telling exactly what she should say every minute, and I think that's why we heard the same thing.
Dude, can you imagine Bill Clinton can you imagine Bill Clinton looking that ridiculous talking to a reporter? Not that he hasn't had bad moments, but can you imagine sitting Clinton down as a guy who you want to run the country and saying something to him and having him look that ridiculously ill-informed?
Yeah.
I think that was a moment of being overwhelmed and not having that answer, and I think she had to toe the line and say
she just wasn't ready, man.
That we have
she wasn't ready for the position that she was put in.
I agree.
Hey, Jim, you got to wrap up.
We
gave you like 15 minutes on the phone.
Let me bring up a point here also. Do you think that the media had something to do with George Bush Sr. not getting elected because they goofed on Dan Quayle relentlessly? Do you recall the beating that Dan Quayle took for being a complete fucking moron?
Absolutely. And so do you think that you could blame Dan Quayle if he found a situation that somebody put their foot in their mouth and he got to say, you see what it feels like?
No, I'm just saying the guy...
And it can end your career.
The guy was an idiot.
That's a perfect example. He was an idiot.
Yeah,
but the fact is
and they pointed it out.
And it wasn't even the media that cost him his job, dude. It was George Bush Sr. ran a terrible campaign, and Ross Perot hurt Bush Sr. It's like you're blaming the media as a knee-jerk reaction, and they do stink. But Perot got, I think it was 17% of the vote. Bill Clinton got like 43%.
Minimizing the real impact.
All right, Jim, thank you. We got to move on. Everyone else wants in here. Right. Just so we have all the facts out there, Hannity is not calling for Letterman to be fired. He is just pissed off at the hypocrisy.
Yeah, that's what
sort of what we figured, right? Yeah. All right, let me go to Lee in New Hampshire. We got to make it quick here. Lee, go ahead.
Hey, Ann's pointed out that this has always been one-sided, that the Democrats always get by and the Republican people always get bashed. So Ant's been on that before. I also wanted to point out to Jimmy that he was wrong, that he made a comment that somebody got a bad blowjob. I didn't think there was anything but a good blowjob.
Good job, Lee. Speaking of the Democrats' kids, Chelsea Clinton, hello.
Yeah, I'm still here.
They beat the shit out of her in the media.
They never attacked Chelsea like they would make fun of her being ugly.
There was
that's
one,
what I'm saying,
one
but that's
ugly
pretty
joke
bad.
came out. I forgot who made it, but somebody made an ugly joke.
Rush Limbaugh, right?
And they jumped on him, and that was it. Because you're talking about at the time an 11-year-old girl going through a very funny, fucking awkward stage, popped in the public eye, and not in a way where she's older and is helping with the campaign or anything. Right. She's just some dopey little kid going in there. So, yeah, that kind of is not off limits, mind you, but when you sit there, you don't want to be like, oh, yeah, that kid's ugly. Probably fuck the kid up. But it was like once she started getting a little older and then getting involved in her mom's campaign and shit like that, then it's fair game.
But media matters. Who are the ones who always go after O'Reilly and who are the ones who went after Imus? I mean, they really are pukey and biased.
Yeah.
Groups. They would never go after liberal.
We've been going back and forth with the Hannity thing. This is exactly what he said.
Biting public what was she supposed to do? Just separate them and not bring her family to the convention when she's being nominated for vice president?
I would have kept it private. It's our business.
And keep your daughter hidden.
Not hidden. I didn't say hide her, but there's a difference between hide and center stage at the major national political convention.
I think David Letterman's a disgrace. I think CBS ought to fire him for this. They never will. Too much money.
Hannity's saying that Letterman's a disgrace?
And ought to be fired.
What?
Never will. Too much money.
Get him on the phone.
What's he, insane?
Can we get Sean Hannity on the phone? A disgrace? He's going that far with this? And why is it A-Rod yelling and screaming that he's being accused of being a pedophile, by the way? Because he probably understood that Letterman was talking about the 18-year-old.
Yeah.
That was all over the news for being pregnant.
Is he dating her now?
Yeah, right? Wow, Hannity's saying a disgrace.
A disgrace?
And should be fired.
He could call him a disgrace, but the whole firing thing is a little woo.
David Letterman had to apologize.
I'm
a fan of David Letterman. And this whole thing sickens me, to be completely honest. Because he apologized. Doesn't mean to apologize, but had to apologize to pretty much save his gig, I'm thinking, at this point.
Yeah,
so then Sarah Palin now accepts a fake apology. This is the country we live in.
Yeah.
We've had to apologize a bunch of times on our show. We could speak for ourselves. We never mean it.
We don't mean it.
It gets to a point where you're forced to apologize for something. Usually it's written for you. And then you read it. You don't mean it. And then everything goes away because people start to accept your fake apology. It's such a weird environment we live in.
Yep. You get your fake apology out there. You don't mean it. And then people go, okay, they apologized. And that, to them, is better than just saying nothing and going, all right, just let's move on with this. I'm not going to apologize because I don't really mean it. I shouldn't have to apologize, whatever it is. But, yeah, they'd rather just hear a fake apology that they're doing just to keep their jobs.
Right.
Pretty much it.
We don't know Letterman, obviously. Do you think he means it when he says he's sorry and all that?
No, I think there was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that took place there. Man, because Les Moonves got contacted by...
Yeah, some Republican in New York.
Oof, yeah, that's...
What does that mean? They're going to, pump up their protesting?
No, this is before... Personally, I think he means it because they're so strict over there about that stuff. And Eddie Brill always said it comes from Dave. He doesn't like
Really?
Yeah, and I'm being really honest with you, man. Eddie says it comes like any type of jokes about underage shit he doesn't like.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
So I think that his apology, I think he realizes he just didn't know that young girl was there. He fucked up. It was like a comic. You put your foot in your mouth. It happens.
But he told the joke the next day. I mean, you know.
Yeah,
he was all in with the joke and what it meant and, you know, and assumed that everyone else thought, you know, the same way
that
he
it was,
did.
Right, that it was cool. It's a joke. People get it.
But it's just scary because now comedy is going to be toned down even a little more now. Every time we lose one of these battles, you'll see the end result. You get more
scared.
You get more fun Eddie Murphy movies that suck at the box office.
People get scared to do anything edgy, to offend people that are, you know, in the public eye or whatever. And I understand it's the daughter, but he meant the older daughter. I don't know how that 14-year-old daughter ever got into the mix where people thought David was talking about her.
Because she was in New York with Sarah Palin, and the daughter that does have a kid.
Oh, was that the problem?
She was at the game with him.
Who even fucking knew that?
Right.
Who knew who was where? We just knew that the one daughter had the kid, and that's the whole
when
deal.
you hear Sarah Palin's
box of tissue?
When you hear that Sarah Palin's coming to New York, you just like everything's on the table to make fun of.
The initial,
you're not thinking who is actually in town.
No.
To Palin, it probably sounded like he was implying that her other daughter got knocked up. Like when you first hear that, it probably was like,
yeah. But then David explained that.
Yeah, his screw up was that he was, he's a comedian. He was annoyed the next night that it got misinterpreted, and he was kind of sarcastic in his apology,
which he should have.
But I think
that's how it should work in this country. You know, that's how it should work. David says a joke. Some people didn't like it. They expressed their opinion. They don't like the joke. David then goes on the air and explains the joke to maybe calm them down a little bit. That's not good enough. So they start, like, they're protesting and they start gathering. And then they put pressure on the person to now issue a fake apology. There's something really wrong with that in this country.
Yep.
Letterman doesn't want to apologize.
No one wants to apologize.
And then they
accept silly.
And then they accept the fake apology.
You look silly when you apologize in public. I
don't blame Sarah Palin for being mad because he's going after his daughters in one way or another. I understand all that.
Yeah.
And she expressed all that. Trust me, she got a lot of airtime.
But she accepted it, though.
And then Letterman explains, well, I wasn't talking about your 14-year-old daughter. I was talking about the 18-year-old daughter that was knocked up a little early in life.
She really has to just pretty much go back to Alaska, keep her yap shut, do her term, and then whatever the else she wants to, do after that. But as far as being in the national spotlight like she was during that presidential election, just go away, please.
I will never vote Republican if she's involved.
Oh, she won't be.
No, I know.
She was the death knell for the Republican Party as far as this election went.
I think I'm ready to vote for a young Republican.
A young Republican.
Absolutely.
A little more moderate, not such a religious zealot.
Of course not. I mean, some things, some other things have to be in there, but I have an open mind, and I would vote young Republican if it was the right person.
Yeah.
If Sarah Palin's involved, though, hell fucking no. She's a joke.
No.
So here's David Letterman last night, I guess. We got the whole thing.
All right, here, I've been thinking about this situation with Governor Palin and her family now for about a week. It was a week ago tonight, and maybe you know about it, maybe you don't know about it, but there was a joke that I told, and I thought I was telling it about the older daughter being at Yankee Stadium. And it was kind of a coarse joke. There's no getting around it. But I never thought it was anybody other than the older daughter. And before the show, I checked to make sure, in fact, that she is of legal age 18. Yeah. But the joke really...
Which, by the way, goes with what Jimmy was saying yesterday. Making sure that the daughter was of legal age.
Right.
And Jimmy had a problem with one of his jokes, and they wanted Jimmy to pump it up to make sure the person he was talking about was of legal age.
Yeah, it was just because there's.
That's exactly what you said yesterday.
Eddie Brill said that there was the thing with that is like a sticking point for Letterman, and he also doesn't like certain disease jokes. Like he doesn't like when you shit on cancer or like even like AIDS. We know you can't do, but like leukemia. There's a couple of things that for him are just personally he doesn't like them, and those are two of the ones that Eddie Brill has been saying that for years. He just doesn't like stuff like that.
Mm.
18. Yeah, but the joke really, in and of itself, can't be defended. The next day, people are outraged. They're angry at me because they said, "How could you make a lousy joke like that about the 14-year-old girl who was at the ball game?" And I had honestly no idea that the 14-year-old girl. I had no idea that anybody was at the ball game except the governor, and I was told at the time that she was there with Rudy Giuliani. And that's right. And I really should have made the joke about Rudy. Because... But I didn't, and now people are getting angry, and they're saying, well, how can you say something like that about a 14-year-old girl, and what, does that make you feel good to make these horrible jokes about a kid who's completely innocent, minding her own business, and turns out she was at the ball game. I had no idea she was there. So she's now at the ball game, and people think that I made the joke about her. And but still, I'm wondering, well, what can I do to help people understand that I would never make a joke like this? I've never made jokes like this as long as we've been on the air, 30 long years, and you can't really be doing jokes like that. And I understand, of course, why people are upset. I would be upset myself. And then I was watching the Jim Lehrer NewsHour, and this commentator, the columnist Mark Shields, is talking about how I had made this indefensible joke about the 14-year-old girl, and I thought, oh, boy. Now I'm beginning to understand what the problem is here. It's the perception rather than the intent. It doesn't make any difference what my intent was. It's the perception. And as they say about jokes, that if you have to explain the joke, it's not a very good joke. And I'm certainly... Thank you. Thank you. Well... My responsibility, I take full blame for that. I told a bad joke. I told a joke that was beyond flawed, and my intent is completely meaningless compared to the perception. And since it was a joke I told, I feel that I need to do the right thing here and apologize for having told that joke. It's not your fault that it was misunderstood. It's my fault that it was misunderstood. Thank you. So I would like to apologize, especially to the two daughters involved, Bristol and Willow, and also to the governor and her family, and everybody else who was outraged by the joke. I'm sorry about it, and I'll try to do better in the future. Thank you very much.
And told Mo haircut.
I love how he talks to his audience.
Yeah.
When he just sits down and talks to them,
it's all down home, isn't it?
It really is, man. He doesn't do it often. He did a lot of that after 9/11, but
it's very Andy Griffith.
Right. When he sits down and goes, look, he really knows how to talk to his own audience when he needs to.
Right.
Yeah. Here's the deal, and he explained it perfectly. I think he still had to do what he had to do, to be honest with you, but he saved face with that.
He did. It was an apology, but he definitely came off better than 99% of the people that apologize in public.
Yeah, I agree.
It was on his terms. It was in his forum, in front of his audience, which is fantastic. It's not like through a press release, at a press conference, something like that. It's on his show, like you said. He's talking to his audience, so it's almost like family. You're just kind of shooting the shit. And then you wind up apologizing, and people applaud, and it's over.
And he gets to explain the whole thing from the beginning to the end.
That's the most important thing.
Like when we had to fake apologize over the homeless Charlie thing.
Here's your apology. It's written down for you. Just say this. Don't elaborate. Oh, thanks.
Right.
I think we could fucking handle an apology by ourselves.
If you want to keep your jobs, you will read exactly what we wrote for you. These 2 sentences, no more, no less.
Yeah.
And we want it right at, what time was it at? Like 9:10?
Yeah, it's got to be said at exactly 9:10.
It's just amazing. When you're trying to entertain people, a lot of this stuff is off the cuff.
Right.
You're going to fuck up.
You're gonna, and eventually you're gonna say something that's gonna anger somebody a little more than just them going, oh, well, that sucks. They're gonna make a stink of it, and you're gonna have to say something.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to say it on other people's terms and in a way that isn't you. That's another thing. When you're reading someone else's words that are supposed to be your apology, it's not sincere.
No, of course not.
We read other people's words as far as apologies.
How many times? I can't even count that high
Here's your
anymore.
apology. You're very sorry. Here it is. Oh, am I? Let me read how sorry I am, what I'm sorry about.
Can you at least spell my name right?
Yeah, thanks.
Greg Hudges. No, that's not how I spell Hughes, you idiot.
Hudges.
Dopes. That was a good 3.5 minutes from Letterman right there.
Yep. Yeah, it was very cool.
You know, I think he saves face with the fake apology, and then the fake apology is accepted by Sarah Palin, which proves that she's just as dumb as they come.
But
she knows this stuff, that it's a fake apology.
But you know who did not
accept? Which is fine,
accept,
because she'll at least go away for a while.
You know who did not accept fake apology?
Who?
FireDavidLetterman.com.
You mean our message board?
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty much.
Oh, yeah, you haven't seen it?
I have no idea, yeah.
Our pest pretty much took over. Fire David Letterman.
They're making fun of it?
Oh, I hope David Letterman appreciates it.
They are actually having
David
some kind of
Letterman.
rally at 4:30 in front of the Ed Sullivan Theater.
Really?
And you know something? I would just hope that anti-demonstrators would show up in greater numbers than these idiots. Because now Dave's apologized. They said their official statement is they don't accept it. It's not enough.
Well, the thing is that Palin did accept it, which it kind of makes me like her a little bit. Like, she didn't try to milk it for more. She said that she accepted it. That was the first sincere apology he offered, and she accepted it. Well, I think that's enough. But, he said he was sorry, and she accepted it, and that's fine.
But now she'll accept an appearance on David Letterman. That's happening. Within a week or two. And then there'll be there, now Dave. Because they'll try to get a little edgy, and she'll be like, Dave.
So you been to the ball game?
Yeah. Dave.
Everyone will laugh and applaud.
Right. What do you think? What do you think the odds are she goes on the show?
Zero.
Zero.
Palin wants nothing. I'll tell you why, because it was about her daughter. If it was about her or her husband, then they could have done that. Like, if it was about him and her having sex.
You're right, Jimmy.
I think that she'll just completely, and he probably doesn't want it, because that could only be, I mean, he would have her, but that could only be a bed. There's no way that could be a great situation.
No.
She would just berate him, and he would have to just take it.
And he would just take it, yeah. Oh, yes.
He's pretty caustic. He doesn't like to take shit from people.
No, he doesn't. And he would have to. That's true. Oh, he can't just disappear after the show like he does. He'd have to sit there and shake her hand.
Oh.
You know, I'm really sorry.
Well, he does like the vamoose after the show.
Oh, he certainly does. It's the old catacombs under the Ed Sullivan Theater.
But that is all he is when you think about it. It's like he's just a nutty comic. Like, as much as we look at him like he's this talk show host, he's just a comedian who
he's a comic.
You say dumb shit sometimes.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, you should have, maybe Sam could get it. I mean, listening to Elizabeth Hasselbeck try to discuss the Letterman situation on The View. She's an embarrassment to young women everywhere, man. An embarrassment. And once again, Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar had to, set her straight.
Who I can't stand their whole stance on everything. Whoopi,
sure, I'm not even. It was more about what comedy is and what a public commentator is and basic shit. They were explaining to her.
Yeah, Whoopi's whole political agenda is just another one that's just shut up. But Hasselbeck, she goes off and starts crying about crap.
She's the worst.
She's a complete.
It is embarrassing.
She is the worst.
But that's the conservative voice they have. Like that's why so many people hate Ann Coulter's guts. But that's the alternate to a voice quote that's kind of on the conservative vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, because Whoopi's very liberal and Joy is very liberal, and they're both smart and they're funny. Mm-hmm. And this is the counterbalance to that is fucking stupid Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Yeah.
But they hate Ann Coulter because she's not some dummy who sits there.
I'm not a fan of Coulter, but I respect her because she's very, very intelligent and knows what she's talking about, and she can hang in there with the best of them.
And she's sarcastic
Elizabeth
and shitty,
Hasselbeck, which is in that same genre, is someone that reads a few things on the internet or might read one of the political books from Barnes & Noble and then thinks she knows everything about politics.
Yeah.
She doesn't have I don't think she has an original thought in her head when it comes to that stuff.
No.
And Coulter certainly does.
And Coulter can get in there, and just swing with the best of them. There's no one's getting one over on Ann Coulter without her fighting. She's not going to sit there and start crying her eyes out when she reaches that dead end,
Right.
You reach that dead end and go, uh-oh, I don't know about this, and I'm being called out.
And then you got to nuzzle into Barbara Walters' old fucking boobs.
Oh, God.
Her old warm boobs for comfort.
That freckled cleavage. Liver spots.
Do you watch The View?
No.
I watch to get pissed off. You
Really?
gotta watch The View. I'm telling you. And I know there's some guys out there that'll back me up. It's amazing TV.
They'll back you up all right if you're watching The View.
Why not? I don't know. I don't know about that. You gotta watch.
No, I've seen it.
Then Sherry Shepherd is as dumb as they come.
Yeah, Dave's apology on TV, by the way.
It's everywhere.
It's going to be everywhere today.
I would love to know what the ratings are going to be for Letterman the last week or so.
Big.
Let me say hi to Tony in Connecticut. Tony.
Tony.
Good morning, boys. Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Goomba.
Hey, Anthony.
What's up, man?
I remember that morning that you did the apology.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to state, I loved at the end when you did that little thing with your tongue there, that little, sucking up noise.
Did I click my tongue?
Yeah, you did. Oh,
yeah.
So funny.
Even better was the crumbling up of the apology.
Oh, you heard being crumbled and thrown in the garbage
and
where
then
it belongs.
possibly some spitting after that.
Oh, boys.
Spit on their own floor.
But you know what? Our fake apology allowed us to continue doing our radio show.
That's it.
And I'm so glad that we're finally talking about the fake apology.
Yeah.
Because for so long, we're like, I can't believe we're being forced to do this. We can't say what this really is. And one day we just decided, you know what? No, this is what it is. It's a fake apology to get us to continue doing our radio show.
And to get it out there so the listeners know that if we ever have to apologize, it's a fake apology.
Oh, and then they'll come to us down the hall and go, look, I know you guys talk about how it's a fake apology, but
you got to make this sound sincere.
This is a real apology.
All right.
And don't, like a month later, say it was a fake apology, okay?
It's like, yeah, we got you.
The whole thing is a joke, man.
Man! You're not sorry, man. Yeah.
Of course not.
Here's
Gene on Long Island.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hello.
Hey, I want to see Letterman do a top 10 list of things that would not offend anyone in the world. Just do the top 10 list and not say a word.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea because we're running out of things to make fun of.
All right, boys, punching out.
Which is so weird,
man.
Isn't that what comedy is pretty much based on?
Yes.
Just making fun of everything? But now you really can't. And someone is saying now it's about time that Letterman goes after the current administration. Does he do Obama jokes on the show?
I honestly don't know.
I don't think he does. I haven't heard anyone doing real critical of Obama jokes. I've heard them joke about him in certain ways, and but not
what a terrible present giver he is.
Yes,
some guys have joked about that.
Something like that.
His wife's eyes being a little buggy.
Right.
Some comics have addressed that.
Here's a question: as far as late night comedians go, okay, you throw Jon Stewart in there, obviously. Now, when did it become where if you're more of a Democratic comedian, you only make fun of the Republicans and vice versa? Did Johnny? Let's start with Leno. Did Leno make fun of the Democrats and the Republicans equally?
I'm going to guess he did.
Wow, you know something? I think you're right. Depending on who was president, that was your fair game, and they had been through so many presidents. Those long-term...
I just remember growing up, if Reagan's in office, you beat the shit out of Reagan if you're a comedian. If Carter's in office, you just beat the shit. But something changed, and it seems like only in the last couple of years, literally, where you pick a party for the most part, and you go after the other party with your jokes, and maybe every once in a while you make fun of your own. But there's almost like an agenda.
Clinton was fair game for everybody. And Bush was fair game.
Well, that's what I'm trying to. That's the question, though. When did it start changing? Did Jon Stewart change that?
No, I think Stewart would have been. I think with Obama, he hasn't done anything yet, which he will. For them, I think Biden is the way they're starting to hit Obama through Biden's fuck-ups.
It's such a cop-out, though. Why? Because he's the old white guy.
No, just because he's giving them reason to saying really ridiculous things.
Yeah, he's giving. He's got some.
But I think they'll get to Obama.
No one's commenting on wishy-washy Obama.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, get on there and talk about wishy-washy Obama. Did you hear his statement on Ahmadinejad? It's like, it was so carefully worded.
Everything's carefully worded
and written out and everything. He couldn't just speak with a little bit of passion and, like, that's a situation where somebody like, I'll bring him up, old Ronnie Reagan, would have gotten on there and boom, shot from the hip. That was old Ronnie Reagan style, whether it was, written by a speechwriter or not. The guy, knew how to deliver that stuff. And then he'd throw a few of his own little, things in there. And
who's the last president that improvised? Bush didn't improvise. Obama's not improvising.
Clinton was good at that.
Clinton would throw his...
I think Clinton jumped at reporters and give them sincere answers that weren't rehearsed or written down or anything like that. And, you had to respect him for that. And, the cigar thing.
Yeah, of course.
gotta respect him.
He's on the phone with foreign leaders getting his dick sucked with bentos. The history should prove that he was a real trooper and a good boy.
Yes. Arafat's waiting outside, and he's just getting a blowjob. Fantastic.
The entire world peace is in the balance.
Yeah.
And he's getting his fucking fat southern hog sucked.
How do you get off in that? How do you hold a rod when Arafat's waiting outside for you?
Dude, my nubby dick is soft if the phone rings. If I hear the fucking theme music from a show I like from the other room, my dick shrinks.
Like what? What is
that? MASH?
I'm concentrating too hard on something on TV. It's like I got world leaders outside. There's war in the balance. Suck my dick.
Talk about a power trip, though. That's fucking complete power.
Oh, hell yeah.
Danny, look at the instant feedback. Miley Cyrus blowjob pics. I can't say the website yet.
No way.
Well, we'll find out in a second.
Hell.
Brad in Atlanta. Brad.
Good morning, boys.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, Brad.
Just calling in to say, man, it's the same in every facet of life. I'm a camera operator and a part-time bartender. And people nowadays are getting so weirded out and pissed off about the littlest shit. You can't make a joke without somebody looking at you and, calling you a cunt bag, essentially. If you just, make the littlest comment. It's
really?
fucked up.
Brad?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you just put your hand in the register over there, Brad? Give me my money back.
Brad.
Not the best joke I ever heard.
Wait, as a bartender, you got to be careful about how you're shooting the shit with your patrons.
Yeah, man, because it's all about tips, and nowadays people, they're fucking stay-at-homers. They're not going out and fucking blowing money like they used to. So if you make the littlest, bullshit comment, they're going to totally eat your lunch if they don't like the way you fucking see the world. People are so sensitive and overblown about the littlest shit. It's just fucking retarded. But I love you, and I'm glad you're here.
All right. Hey, just handed this.
This just in?
Yeah, Leno told similar joke about Palin's daughter.
Oh, yeah?
Governor Palin announced over the weekend that her 17-year-old unmarried daughter is 5 months pregnant. And you thought John Edwards was in trouble before. Now he has really done it.
That's totally different, though.
Yeah, that is. That's the older daughter, obviously, the pregnant one.
Underage.
What?
17.
Pregnant.
Yeah, but he's playing off the fact that Palin announced that her daughter was pregnant.
Yeah.
He didn't just throw her in out of nowhere. Like, this is probably why he didn't get in trouble. He more just tied Edwards into a story. Like, people, I think, understood the tone that was coming from.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
What, Danny?
This is nothing new. I mean, there was an article I saw yesterday called 10 Reasons Why Sarah Palin's Outrage is Misplaced and Late.
Yeah.
Because this is all these jokes, and far worse than this joke, has happened before.
That's true.
So why is she so outraged about it now? I mean, there was a bit on Saturday Night Live that suggested there was incest going on in the family. There have been very similar jokes about
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, why is Letterman the scapegoat for all this?
Because
he's the scapegoat. It's
Craig
a
Ferguson.
sick society.
I think if the older daughter was actually in town instead of the younger daughter, then it would have been a whole different story.
I agree.
Unfortunately.
But
even though I still believe Letterman was still going after the older daughter.
Sure he was.
I believe what he said. I honestly believe he didn't know the 14-year-old was there because there's a lot of ways to shit on Sarah Palin,
but he doesn't
without doing that.
But he doesn't need to know who's actually in town for the joke he wanted to say.
No, the details. It's like everybody knew what he meant. Just stop. They knew that he meant the older daughter that got in a little bit of trouble there with the out-of-wedlock pregnancy during a pretty conservative run that mommy was making. So, that's where the goofing came from. No one was goofing on a 14-year-old ever.
The Republicans didn't look at her resume, man. that goes against the party line a little bit.
Zoinks. Yeah, that's
just a little bit.
Yeah.
And the Leno joke, this is from the Huffington Post.
Yep.
Huffington.
Here's where it's different. Is I think that the joke here is being pointed at Edwards, not the daughter. Because the joke was, I'm just rereading it, but Governor Palin announced over the weekend that her 17-year-old unmarried daughter is 5 months pregnant. And you thought John Edwards was in trouble before. Now he's really done it. He's pointing the joke and making fun of Edwards.
That's true, yeah.
And not the daughter.
Yeah, it's different.
Hey, Mark, what's going on?
Hello, fellows. How are you doing today?
Hi.
All right.
I'm disappointed in David Letterman. The first day he came out and he tried to do a little explanation about, and it sounded like he wasn't going to apologize. He was going to stand his ground, and why I don't see why he just didn't, come out and just say, go fuck yourself.
Dude, you're being naive, dude. You can't say that.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Unfortunately, the climate really sucks, and you just can't do that anymore. He did do that the next day. Pretty much was like, tough shit and what you're thinking. This is what I meant, and that's it. But unfortunately, that wasn't it, and the pressure was building. And it would have led to his firing, unfortunately. So then you have to go with the fake apology, and then the person accepts the fake apology, and then we move on.
And, dude, there are times in life where you're not a sellout if you say you're sorry. Like, he just fucked up. He didn't realize something. It's being perceived, like he said, as what it's being perceived as. And if you hate Palin and you want to make fun of her, that's fine. But when you do a joke about fucking her daughter, and she happens to be with her 14-year-old daughter, or A-Rod fucking her daughter, you know what? Hey, look, you got to step out and go, sorry, for real didn't realize that, and you got to give a real apology and move on. It doesn't mean you're a sellout, but what was he supposed to do? Why would he say go fuck off when he gave her a justifiable reason to be pissed off?
Right.
I don't know. I guess you got a point there, but I thought he was going to hold his ground. All right.
Yeah.
Punch it out.
God. We got a lot of new audio. We should wrap up the whole David Letterman thing. He apologized. I think he saved face. I wish he didn't have to apologize, but in this day and age, you got to apologize if you want to keep your job.
Yeah, it was smart. It was a smart move.
We all understand that.
Jamie Foxx said he was sorry and it went away. Like it's smart sometimes to say you're sorry.
He wasn't sorry either.
Probably not. No.
These
sorry.
These are fake apologies.
Oh, Rich. Hi.
I'm not talking for Letterman. I just assume it's got to be another fake apology because that's what they demand out there.
Yep.
They demand an apology, so you come up with a fake apology, and then the person accepts the fake apology, like Sarah Palin did. She bought it.
Insincere's fine.
She bought it hook, line, and sinker. The fake apology.
Yeah. It's great. Insincerity is fine as long as you say it.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you mean it or not.
Even if you make a mistake.
David Letterman addresses the Fire Letterman rally outside his studio. So yesterday, I guess, was the last day with the Sarah Palin controversy, right?
Yeah.
And Letterman had some fun with it. People outside his studio trying to get him fired.
And all these people, by the way, saying, these lawyers go, don't talk about it like when something like this is happening. And Letterman was smart, man. He was smart.
Very nice of you. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Late Show, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when I call your name, please come forward and pick up your apology.
That's good.
I want to get through this as quickly as possible so you folks can get to the Fire Dave rally. Wow. It's nice that people hate me who are no longer just part of my immediate family. I feel... My son, he's telling everybody at school that his father is Conan. How does that make me? Yeah, there's a Fire Dave rally going on outside, but I think it's just about over because the last time I looked, they were breaking up and heading to flash dancers. So I think it's going to be all right.
You could hear the excitement in Letterman's voice.
Oh, he loves it.
This was good for business. Do we have the ratings yet? As far as the Sarah Palin controversy goes, it was great for a show.
He's a hit.
Can I be honest with you? Anyone hear anything from Conan in the last week? It's
Amazing.
all been Letterman and Sarah Palin.
It's I don't. They didn't plan it, but it worked out well. Like, God damn, is that he hijacked Conan's like second week of the Tonight Show?
Amazing,
and publicity wise,
and he looks good. Letterman looks good, even though he had to apologize, right?
I don't think he looked bad apologizing at all.
He doesn't look bad.
Legitimately, she was 14, and she was, even though we know he didn't mean it.
That doesn't sound good. She was 14. He didn't mean it.
No, but you
Roman Polanski.
You know he didn't mean to say that. But there are times, I said this on Red Eye last night, brilliantly. But no, sometimes it's like there are times in life where you're apologizing, and it doesn't mean you're a groveling worm. It's okay to say you're sorry once in a while.
Especially comparing Red Eye at 4 in the morning to Letterman. But what I want to know
I
is...
really wasn't. I was just kind of kidding. And the word especially, there's no X in it.
Oh, the Norton clip.
There's no
Anthony.
X in especially.
Oh, really? All of a sudden now is into women's rights again. For the last 10 years, they've only been a political activists, and now all of a sudden they're jumping on board. Where were they when Letterman was trashing Hillary Clinton throughout the last year or so, or Leno or any of them?
So do you have that clip from last night?
Well, isn't that a good point?
I can't be involved with you.
It's not.
Why isn't it a good point?
Because now you're giving now too much credit. They're like any other special interest group.
Yeah.
You can't look for consistency in a special interest group. They're shitty.
Right.
They have good points and they do good things, and the majority of their stuff is just getting themselves in the spotlight, so they're not irrelevant.
Thank you.
Well, let's focus on the good news and the good news is Sarah Palin has accepted my apology. So that's... She also accepted a $500 gift certificate from LensCrafters. I thought that was a nice touch. And I'll tell you, to be honest, I was quite nervous about this whole thing, and I was really nervous about an apology to Sarah Palin. So what I did to get my confidence up, to get my nerves to settle down, I rehearsed by apologizing to Tina Fey. And that helped. That was the big help.
He is.
Fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, he's firing on all cylinders.
Dude, he has. I'd say Letterman has more balls than I ever realized he had. He is, because a vice presidential candidate, instead of just shut up about it, which is what I would do in a fucking panic.
Yeah.
He's still being funny. It's fucking great, man.
Letterman has always showed his balls when he needs to.
Wow.
You apologize to most people, like, all right, we're moving on, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, he's making jokes about it. And, it makes him look better,
A protester walks behind Dave's desk.
Yeah, hi. Can I help you?
Is this the Fire David Letterman rally?
No, that's across the street, and I know you're Joe. You're one of the writers. It's not here. It's across the street.
Sorry. I have to go now. I don't want to be late.
I understand. Okay, good luck over there.
Do you think Justin and Eric both auditioned for that? And their rotten, lousy acting, they couldn't get it? Our two friends, the writers, the Stangl brothers, they probably fucked up. They kept calling him Jay and Conan. Wrong!
All right, bring in the other kid.
Bring in the other guy,
Jesus.
Joe.
We have a feeling we know which guy wrote the joke. We're not sure, but I haven't heard from those.
One of those two creepy brothers.
Yeah, one of the creepy brothers.
I want to know why they didn't get the acting gig. They've been there longer.
They watch a certain basement program.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
They're all in with our activities.
I've heard.
Isn't Letterman too big to even, like, they wouldn't even consider
yes, they
over
would.
something this small?
Dude, Imus went. They'll fire
anybody. Money Imus was bringing in?
Yeah.
You know how much money we were bringing in at the time?
Yeah.
You don't give a shit about that. And I'm not saying we're as big as Letterman,
No.
because I'll hear that now. But fucking, Letterman... Yeah, no one's safe in this environment anymore. No one.
Okay, but the next day he would be scooped up by...
Maybe. First of all, don't say scooped up. And second of all, he probably would have to sit his contract out.
Really?
Yeah, and third of all, if they go after your advertisers and they threaten advertisers all across CBS's platform and they get it rolling, and advertisers start to pull out across CBS's empire, then they fucking feel the financial. That's bigger than Letterman. That's much as Letterman is as big as he is.
That's how they get you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's sickening, but I mean that's the way it works.
It is sickening, and no one's safe, unfortunately.
That's the disadvantage to being with such a big company. The advantage is you can make so much money They can put you into so many households or on so many radio stations at once, but the disadvantage is when they go after you and they threaten the advertisers, the company has that much more money to lose. You're smaller.
And it's deep, too, because, with radio, a company owned a radio station, whatever. Now it's like a corporate umbrella. Not only are they going after the radio advertising, they're going after Blockbuster and Nickelodeon or whatever the fuck the properties
whatever they
are
own
owned by
these
the company.
days.
They go after every single thing that your company's involved with. It's ugly. Top 10 list.
The category tonight, wow, talk about something pretty close to home. The category tonight, top 10 things overheard at the Fire David Letterman rally. Going on right now, and we sent, and I don't want to give away any secrets, but we sent in a mole. Was over there and was able to listen to the things that were being said and collate them and come back with the top 10 things being said at the Fire David Letterman rally. Here we go. Number 10. David who? Right. Number 9. Well, it was nice of CBS to provide the catering. What? What? Number 8. We should have done this years ago. Number 7. What idiot turned Broadway into a pedestrian mall? Number 6. Number 6. Isn't there always a crowd demanding Letterman be fired? Number 5. March around the potholes, people. Number 4. Can we also get CBS to bring back Gunsmoke? Number 3. When does Cheney get here with the waterboarding gear? What? Oh, my God. Look out. Number 2, he should apologize for that hairpiece. That's what he had. And the number 1 thing overheard at the Fire David Letterman rally, thanks for coming, Regis.
Not bad.
Yeah. I love the fact that he's addressing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, leads to Sam. Sam was out there at the Fire David Letterman rally.
Let me see if
he'll be running down.
He's going to run down the hall because there's nothing that gives me more joy than
he was already outside the door.
He was outside.
Do you like to see him running?
That duck-footed idiot.
He really is
running down the hallway. Quack,
Sam.
quack, quack, quack.
Aquatic Selch.
This is going to end with Eastside Dave. I'm hearing Eastside Dave made Access Hollywood, The Village Voice.
Look, the Eastside Dave made Access Hollywood.
He really did?
Yeah, but that's a big deal. They showed him with his sign. I would like to make this announcement.
Wait. Eastside Dave isn't talking?
No, he's not talking.
It was just him and his sign?
No, it's not a big deal.
What did the sign say?
I am a right-wing nut.
That's very funny.
But
fucking goddamn.
What an asshole. I love it.
Before we get all carried away, I would like to make the announcement that Mr. Norton was not the only one in the room who was on Fox News last night. Because Primetime Sam Roberts was also on Fox News. So take that, Access Hollywood.
Don't blink.
What do you mean blink?
I said don't blink. You'll miss you.
Fox News is doing a worst hairpiece segment now?
It's not a hairpiece. It's my actual hair. It doesn't even look like a hairpiece.
What the fuck?
Well, that wasn't that bad.
No, it was beyond. It was 4 levels below horrendous.
It's the complete opposite of a hairpiece.
Yes.
Well, you know what I mean. The way your hair is done.
Well, we're not supposed to have to figure out what you mean.
His hair looks like fucking General Urso's hat. The fucking Planet of the Apes. Is that who his name is?
Boss, I want you to leave the studio and start over.
Okay, that sounds
real.
good. I had a couple good lines already, though. I had 1 or 2.
You go outside and you knock on the door and tell us when you're ready
more.
to start over. Okay? There goes Voss. He just made us a hairpiece joke.
He doesn't know. He's nervous.
Your hairpiece.
All right, Voss is outside the studio. When he's ready to come back and start over, he'll knock.
Okay.
What's the haps? Yes, Sam.
Oh, Voss
Wait,
is
you're
knocking.
knocking already? You're ready already?
Oh, look at that.
Listen, let me explain
Very
something.
fast regrouping.
Let me tell you something. When you know what? You fall off the ladder, you get right back on.
Ladder.
All right, I'll start again.
A horse?
Who the fuck?
Oh, if he tripped and broke his big
Oh,
teeth.
would that be great?
Rich, what is that fucking? What is that device you have?
What device? That's not mine.
Okay.
What is it?
It's a timer.
It's a timer.
Okay.
Okay.
That was something for your heart.
There's me. Look on Danny's screen. That's Sam on Fox News.
Where?
Oh, you're in the background there.
Oh, wow. You're on the
old
background
lady.
of a news channel.
Suck it, Access Hollywood.
Suck it.
Fox News.
But see, when our listeners do it, they got a nice sign or something.
Yeah.
Look, I got
no one
the-
even knows that you're part of our show.
My hoodie says Sirius on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well,
How about
sure
an
does.
Opie and Anthony hoodie?
Exactly.
They didn't give us any
Thanks.
Opie and Anthony hoodies.
Yeah,
Why
of
would
course
they?
not.
Why would they?
They don't exist.
What are those bright lights down the hall? For real.
Hopefully we're all dead.
Are they filming something down the hall, or is that the sun reflecting off buildings?
It actually probably is the sun, and we have no idea what it's like.
It's Carol Ann.
This is my grapefruit. I wish it was a grenade so I could pull the pin and hold it and hug you.
You did not just make a poltergeist reference.
Oh, really? That's a good. Yes. Where else? Where else can you say? Don't look into the light. You know.
So we have primetime Sam Roberts.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy.
I like Jimmy's just moving
I was
right
in
along
shock.
now.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I was in shock. So you're out there talking to the people that want Letterman fired.
Yeah, I wanted to get to know the people and maybe see if they could sway my judgment, see where they were coming from.
We meet Patty.
Yeah.
Not our Patty, right?
No.
Okay.
We're here with Patty at the David Letterman protest. Patty, what's the haps?
Here to protest David Letterman's joking about rape.
Sounds a little like Patty.
It sounds like Patty.
Sounds a little like but a little different. Joke about rape.
Yeah. They hate rape there.
Wasn't a joke about rape, you dumb old cunt.
Well, I brought that up in more polite words.
Oh, okay.
We're here with Patty at the David Letterman protest. Patty, what's the haps?
Here to protest David Letterman's joking about rape. Makes an excuse that it's okay because she was 18 years old. He was raping about an 18-year-old. In my mind,
raping about an 18-year-old?
whether you're 14 years old, you're 18 years old, or you're 40 years old, you don't joke about rape.
But if the young lady was 18, then doesn't that make it not rape if she was impregnated necessarily?
In my mind, it makes it rape at any age. You're not getting the point. Just because she's 18, she's raped, doesn't mean it's rape.
She loves to say rape.
It's rape.
Well, he didn't technically say rape. He just said that she got knocked up.
She got knocked up. Knocked up is a term of consideration of rape.
Holy lunatic.
She's great. I love her.
Yeah, she's really
What
good.
a fucking lunatic.
What a classic.
Travis brought up the good point, wondering if she'd seen the Judd Apatow movie, Raped.
Raped. Rape. And it's something to do with rape.
Letterman never implied rape.
Knocked up means rape.
Letterman
No, he
implied
didn't.
easy. Letterman implied horny. Letterman implied not rape.
Sexual relations.
Rape.
Rape.
It's rape.
Consensual.
Want to hear the last part of that again?
Of course, please.
Well, he didn't technically say rape. He just said that she got knocked up.
She got knocked up. Knocked up is a term of consideration of rape.
Rape.
So
the way she says rape. Rape.
So you can't make a joke of what this administration is doing to us financially.
What are they doing to us financially? I have to take this one step further.
I can't really say it because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to have to apologize. But they're knocking us up. Get it? You know, a lot of times in studio when people laugh, then people listening think it's going well. That's what happens. They're not bad lines. That's a good line.
Our
but
ears are being raped.
Okay.
So the country is Obama's raping the country.
I didn't say him. I said the administration. That's not just one person. Yes. Financially, yes. Right now, that's what's happening. Anthony, where are you on this one?
I'm looking at test video of the Flip Ultra. I'm sorry.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Patty continues here.
Sarah Palin accepted his apology. After Palin accepted his apology, do you think it was just like late to cancel the protest?
I think he did it more for publicity. Conan's on the air above him now, so his ratings are way down.
Are they?
And he uses rape as getting his ratings up.
Rape.
Yeah, he's been beating Conan throughout the week. Do you think that's primarily because of rape?
It probably has to do with that. That's the only reason people are turning on his show. I don't watch him anymore. I used to watch him all the time.
How come?
Basically because things like this.
The rape stuff?
Rape, and he's become very dirty, a dirty old man.
Well, I guess those are the types of people that appreciate rapes. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Letterman's a dirt. What?
Wow. What a fool. Do you have a picture of her?
No.
God, I want to see what she looks like.
There are lunatics out there.
Crazy people
there are
come out of the
crazy
woodwork.
people.
Yeah,
and
they
those are
really
the people that the fucking dumb lawyers at these companies listen to. It's that mentality.
Yeah, thank you.
Why would you
You're
listen
right.
to Patty and her rape analogy?
There was maybe 35 to 40 people who were at this protest against Letterman. And but they were the extreme vocal minority, so they were all insane.
You know, and Jimmy just brings up a great point. That
rape.
Those are the people that are listened to. How about you parade those fucking lunatics? Let them pick out 3 representatives. Walk them up to the CEO's office of whatever company is being harassed by these idiots, and let them talk for a minute. And if the CEO doesn't just say, "Get the fuck out of here, my guy's staying, you're crazy," then he should be fired.
God, you're right.
Let Leslie Moonves talk to them face to face instead of just talking to the advertisers. Let them talk to some of the people, you know.
Let the head of the company that is advertising with them talk to these idiots and then go, "Oh, wait a minute. These fucking morons aren't buying my product."
Rape.
Yeah, and if they're hair products or anything that makes you look good products, they have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, because they all have gray, dry, frizzy hair.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what you could picture them. They're all
Rape.
We talked to Joe, or Sam does.
I talked to Joe.
Who thinks we have too much freedom?
Yeah,
I love these people. Here's another idiot.
Oh my God!
Wow, this has got to be.
But they get the job
this
done.
This guy Joe thinks we have too much freedom.
That's
always good as an American.
Yes.
Joe makes a good. Let's hear what Joe has to say.
It scares me that it's guys like Joe that forces Letterman to do an apology.
We're here with Joe outside of Letterman. Joe, what's the haps?
There's a double standard.
What's that?
The liberals can say whatever they want and get away with it. You know what? We've got too much freedom in this country, and it's not good.
I agree.
And the laws are not meant for the good people. They're meant for the bad people. Because tough laws are only good for good people. I don't break the law, so I don't worry about the laws. It's the other thing with Placido Burress. He got off because he didn't admit guilt. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You should lock him away.
As long as you have money, you can kill a person and get away with it. And that's the truth.
Look at O.J. Simpson, huh?
Yeah, there you go. It's a prime example.
What does this have to do with...
There's definitely a double standard in this country. And anybody to say that there's not, they have a problem.
I agree. Are you surprised at the lack of turnout for this protest?
No, because you know what? If Al Sharpton was involved, it would be mobbed all over the streets. But I work. Most good people that are for Sarah Palin work.
Al Sharpton can get those non-working people.
It happens. I mean,
you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
All right, thanks a lot.
You know what I'm saying.
I like that guy.
Sam baits him into it. You know what I'm saying, right?
He knew.
And he goes, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Just some racist guy who thinks we have too much freedom.
I do like that guy.
We could... You could have got people for a remake of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
They were nuts out there.
All
Crazy
these people.
Nuts. Crazy lunatics.
Like he's making...
Scott, go blow me.
What happened?
This guy says these people are Republicans like Anthony.
Oh.
No, they're probably, yes, Republicans. Not like me, motherfucker.
Oh.
Scott from Wisconsin. Shut up.
Wait, you...
Cheesehead.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have wanted Letterman fired, right?
Yes, I should have been out there protesting.
You better talk to Scott.
He's very busy.
Scott?
Good morning.
Hi, Scott.
Very good show. Anthony, this is how the Republicans sound, like George Bush lovers.
Yeah, and? What does that have
And
to
what?
do with me?
You sound just like them sometimes when you talk that crazy Republican stuff.
When do I talk crazy Republican stuff like that rape woman?
Oh, he's gone, I think, yeah.
Yes, you are gone, aren't you? You hung up, you fucking chicken shit cheesehead fuck. That's right. You won't hear me talking like that lunatic.
Rape?
I'm my own lunatic. Rape.
We meet, who do we meet next there? Barbara?
Oh, yeah, Barbara. She was a peach.
Coming for you, Barbara.
All right, we're out here with Barbara. Barbara, what's the haps?
What's the what?
Haps? What's the haps? What's the haps?
What does that mean?
It's like, what's the haps?
Oh, what's happening?
Right.
All right, we're here because we're a lot angry about a rape joke about a little girl sitting on the sideline of a baseball game. This is for you, Willow.
Letterman says that the rape joke was actually about the 18-year-old.
This is for you. What's the 18-year-old's name?
I don't remember.
Oh
This is for you, 18-year-old. This is for both of you.
If she was 18, is that still a rape joke? Because that doesn't constitute statutory rape.
Being knocked up, I don't think that's a funny joke. I've never heard a joke like that. Have you?
Well, not since Letterman said it, of course.
Well,
only when he said it.
I don't think many people in America laughed. But if you go to the library and look up the meaning of funny, I don't think it'll go along with what he said.
What does your sign say today?
My sign says, shame on CBS and all of its sponsors.
That's funny.
Yes.
That's who these dumb motherfucking lawyers and advertisers are listening to.
Listen
that
to
idiot.
Her.
They're protesting because they didn't find the joke funny.
I know.
That wasn't funny. Boo.
And she's saying no one found it funny. She knows. She took a poll of everybody.
God. Sam, please tell me you have 30 more of these.
They're great. I can listen to this all the way to 11.
Yes, I want every single person there to talk and
Holy
sound off.
Shit. These zeros are just trying to marry themselves to it, and they don't even know what they're protesting.
They don't even know. She didn't even know her fucking name.
And these fucking corporate fruits listen to them.
Yeah. I forgot to mention, too, the first woman that we listened to, the one that kept saying rape over and over again, right before I started talking to her, one of the ladies who was organizing this whole thing pulled her aside and said, "He's here to get material. He's not here for the cause." And so this was this woman on her A game. Like, nah, I'm not going to let this guy get material out of me. I'm just going to say rape over and over again.
Rapity, rape.
Dennis from South Carolina. I don't know why he has to say this because I think it's pretty obvious. But go ahead. Dennis.
Hey, guys, I just want to keep it honest here. You know, you realize you got the crazy nuts on the left from Code Pink and PETA and people like that.
Sure.
Of course.
Yep.
But they're also the ones that these dumb motherfucking lawyers and advertisers listen to.
That's right.
Yeah, I could give a shit what side these guys are on. When you're so far right or so far left, you're in the same fucking category. Nut!
You're living in Long Island.
Yeah, well...
All right, there you go.
Well, it's okay. It's better than Jersey, you fucking piece
of
shit.
The nation's not used to us conservatives protesting, so...
we're just enjoying that we're listening to nutty people. I don't give a shit what side they're on.
Less what side they're on. I love this stuff.
They're lunatics.
Love listening to nuts that shouldn't even be given the time of day by an advertiser or a corporate broadcasting corporate executive. They should be just thrown out of the building.
Absolutely.
Like Rupert Pupkin.
Who's Liberty?
Oh, Liberty. She was she one of the ladies at the forefront.
Under the collar?
Oh boy, she was not happy, and she was right at the front, and she let me know her name's Liberty, so she's not going to be somebody who's going to bite her tongue. She's going to stand up for what's right.
That's what this country's all about.
Liberty.
Lady Liberty.
I'm here with Liberty outside Letterman. Liberty, what's the haps?
What's the what?
Haps? What's the haps?
What's the haps? What does that mean?
It's like, what's the haps?
Well, the haps is we got to get rid of that old man who can make very disgusting remarks about children. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I have 2 daughters, 3 granddaughters. And when he makes a remark that A-Rod should knock up her daughter and call her an airline stewardess slut when he had a bastard out of wedlock? Wow, double standards. Am I right?
I think so.
You think so? Well, that's what's happening. I think he's a dirty old man. He's a rapist. And you know what? In a roundabout way, he was raping that little girl. And he'd love to do it to Sarah as well.
Rape her?
He'd like to have sex with her. Forget about the rape.
Wait, is A-Rod having a bad year?
They are really kind of downplaying the word rape here. They're really putting it in a place where a woman that is actually raped should fucking be so angry with these asshole fucking uneducated dolts.
It's wonderful.
We're in a country of knee-jerk reactionary people. And that's what they're doing. And then the guy apologizes, and they want to be a part of the cause so fucking badly.
It's like, oh, you apologize, but hey, we don't care. We're still going to go do this, and the news will be there, and I'll get to speak my piece and sound so intelligent. And meanwhile, they don't even realize how stupid they sound.
This means that advertisers are actually getting letters saying, please stop advertising with David Letterman because he is a rapist.
He's a rapist. She actually just called
That's fucking.
She called him a rapist.
Like, isn't that slanderous?
Of course it is. She didn't say in a way she said, I don't like David Letterman because he is a rapist. David should go after her and get her pension.
Yeah.
Destroy her.
He should. And then buy rape videos with them and have laugh at the rape video parties. And put them on YouTube. Get us all fired for real.
How you like that one, protesters?
God.
Will, in North Carolina, no, you can't.
No, I just wanted to hear the joke.
Can't.
I wanted to hear the joke. I don't even know what it was.
Don't acknowledge someone talked.
What joke?
That Letterman said. I don't know what the joke was that everybody's in
Where have
outrage.
you been?
Yeah, what do you do?
I've been preparing for a movie. I'm sorry.
But
I
where
didn't
is
have
it?
time.
Where were you in Caddyshack where the fucking the rodent lived?
Yeah.
A movie that I'm no
was.
longer part of. There's no fucking way.
Relax. You're working with Bonnie, not with me.
That's right. We're replacing you with
Jim Norton.
I like being in the motion pictures.
Jimmy, you're now in the motion picture business.
I like being in the motion picture business.
We conferred me being co-producer.
That's right.
No?
Not yet.
I want to be in the motion picture business.
Hey, let's say hi to Will in North Carolina.
Get
Will.
that picture.
Will.
Hello.
Make him a
I lied to
big
the
star.
call. I just wanted to say rape. That's all.
Okay.
Put his head in the bed.
Right?
People are now lying just to say rape. God, I love our fucking listeners.
It was the head, not the ass.
Liberty continues?
Of course she does. She's got a lot to say.
She has excellent volume control when she speaks.
Yes!
She's a wonderful woman to listen
And
to.
what were they chanting?
They were first chanting shame on the sponsors, and then they started chanting shame on Olive Garden, which somewhere.
Why did they eat there before they went to the rally?
Shit.
They were all shitting into their shoes.
What? Come on, you fucking assholes. God damn it, Bob.
Yes?
What?
No, I think that the point that people are missing is that when people were making fun of Obama's wife, Michelle, he came forward and said, she's out of bounds, and you're going to have to answer to me if you question her. There was a lot of respect that was shown to Chelsea Clinton. I think it just should be the same thing for if it's a Republican.
No, here's the difference. Let me tell you something, my friend. Here's the big difference. Chelsea Clinton was a very funny-looking little 11-year-old girl, and that when jokes were made, people said, I think even people that were like Republicans were like, whoa, oof. Maybe you shouldn't goof on her. She's just a kid. This situation, when you get a girl that is coming from a family that is supposed to be this Republican family values bullshit company line that they have, and she gets knocked up, and she did get knocked up out of wedlock, it's hypocritical. And to point it out in a joke is completely fine.
Well, I can agree with that it is hypocritical, but the standard was set that families are supposed to be off bounds.
They're not off limits. Fucking, you think Michelle Obama's off limits because Obama said you got to answer to me? Fuck that. It's just the fact that everyone's too big a pussy to fucking criticize him or her. And you get the scarlet letter R put on you if you make fun of the first family because they're black. So that's the reason you don't see a lot of jokes going out about the First Lady.
I think people get sick and tired, and I lean conservative with a lot of issues, not all of them, but like Dick Cheney and the administration stance on gay marriage, and he has a lesbian daughter. And, they got very mad when Gore mentioned, I think, or somebody mentioned his daughter being gay, but that was a fair mention. It's like, here you are saying this and your daughter's gay.
Yeah.
It's like they only want to cart their families out when it makes them look good.
Exactly.
It's like if you're going to bring your family out there and go, look at what a fine unit we are to try to get votes, then inconsistencies in your family with the values you're preaching should kind of be fair game too, no?
Very good.
Well, no, I agree with you on the hypocrisy issue. But when Chelsea was out there campaigning for her father, weren't there a lot of issues that weren't supposed to be brought up because they were family issues?
No. Well, the second she became, she was in the public eye campaigning for her father and then her mother later on, she became fair game. But the thing is, she wasn't that little weird-looking, awkward 11-year-old anymore. There were other things to goof on her about, and people did goof on her and criticized her, what she was even saying when she was backing her mom and things like that. But it's a different story. Like Jimmy said, she paraded her family out there, the husband, the daughters, the fucking little kid, the whole schmear.
She paraded them out there like, look at us. We are a family unit, and our whole stance is family and making this country safe for families like us who believe in values. And, oh, my daughter's pregnant by some fucking lowlife that talks about fucking women on his Facebook page and shit. It was against everything she was preaching. So it's fodder for jokes.
Well, yeah, but you know what? That's not true, Anthony, because she could have family values and that and believe in that. And just because her daughter gets pregnant doesn't mean. Look, I believe in don't get
hypocritical.
It's not. She's not hypocritical. She can't control every action that her daughter does.
Exactly.
Yes.
So why the fuck are they then trying to legislate and criticize other people that perhaps can't control the actions of their kids? Everyone else is a fucking asshole. Unwed fucking unwed mothers. Oh God, we can't have that anymore. Oh, girls getting pregnant, teen girls getting pregnant by their boyfriends. Oh, you're a disgrace. You're this. They're pointing the finger all the time. That you are a piece of shit, you don't have the values we have, and then there you go.
Well, okay, I don't get high, so I see someone who gets high. I don't judge it, but I say, that's not my kind of person. I don't want to hang out with that person, okay? I don't want to do coke. I don't want to be with that. So if my daughter got high, that doesn't change my opinion on people.
You don't legislate. You're not in a position of legislating morality. You're not in a position of actually making decisions that other people have to live by.
Right.
Opinion is one thing, but when you're in a position of formed decisions, and you have a lesbian daughter, and you're against gay marriage, or at least the people you're with are against gay marriage, and you don't speak out.
And you have the power to make or break these people based on sexuality, their marriages, unwed motherhood, then there's a problem. There's a conflict there.
That fucking piece of shit Cheney sold out his fucking own daughter. That piece of shit. Even like the bottom line is just because he's probably for gay marriage. He's with the administration. He has to do what his constituency wants. So he can't just come out and go, "Fuck the system." He's got to kind of vote the way that they say he should vote because he represents them. But to at least not offer your opinion and say, "I don't agree with my party on this. My daughter is gay, but this is what my constituency wants, and this is what I'll do because they asked me to do it." It's like, what a fucking sellout whore he is.
If your whole life you believe you're against gay marriage or whatever, just because your kid is gay, that's not
but now he's saying something different, I believe. He's got a different tone now.
All of a sudden, if your whole life you're a racist, and all of a sudden your daughter's going out with a black guy, that's not going to change you from being a racist.
Sorry. Holy shit. Fell over there a second. I don't know what happened.
That's true. I mean, all right, that's true. But I think that Cheney has changed his stance a little bit, and he's a lot more lenient on it now.
Yeah, he is. He says he's for it. He says it's a state issue, not a federal issue.
Now that he's a private citizen.
It's just,
I can agree with much of what you guys are saying, but one thing that I think you guys have faced personally is the inconsistency on the part of the media.
You're right
when it comes to certain issues.
Dude, not to interrupt you.
When Al Gore was being nominated for the presidency, the night before his son was picked up on a drug arrest.
Right.
Gore called up the major news outlets and asked them, out of respect to the family, to kill the story, and they did.
You're not wrong about that.
Would have gotten away with that?
You're not wrong about that. And you're not wrong about the inconsistency in the media. Like, I'm very happy Letterman kept his job. He absolutely should have.
Yeah.
But I don't think Media Matters targeted him the way they targeted Imus. The media is very leans left. Let's be honest, you're right. Liberals can get away with saying more about conservatives than conservatives can about liberals. Yep. I mean, it is a double standard. But just because it's a double standard, Letterman shouldn't suffer for the disgusting behavior of other people.
No, he shouldn't. He should not lose his job because people in this country should get a thicker skin about jokes.
I agree.
Sure.
Okay.
But I think that it should be spotlighted that if the shoe was on the other foot, if the political coin was flipped, it would be a different reaction on the part of the media.
He's correct about that.
You're right about that. The liberals do get a lot more leeway as far as the media goes than the conservatives do. Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the funny.
Punch it out. Thanks,
see you, man.
I mean, we got Liberty, part 2 of Liberty at the David Letterman protest.
Do you really consider Letterman to be a rapist or just a comedian?
He's a rapist. He raped Sarah Palin's daughters.
Both.
he should be on the sex offenders list because he is a sex offender. That man there is a sex offender.
What information is this based on?
My information. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I have 2 daughters, 3 granddaughters, and no man will talk about any child like that. Not while I'm alive.
Technically, 18 is an adult.
Honey, he had a son out of wedlock. He had a little bastard, Harry, and he didn't want to marry his airline stewardess slut for 5 years. So is that a double standard or not?
Sounds like it.
Oh, thank you.
Will we feel better if Harry gets raped?
Maybe he'll be gay.
Like that guy.
And maybe he'll be sucking somebody off.
Maybe he'll suck off Paul from the band, right?
Well, maybe. You can never tell.
This woman is a fucking enigma.
But she's talking about a legitimately a 6-year-old boy sucking, being gay and raped.
Yes.
Jesus.
What Liberty? The fuck? Go fuck
what
yourself,
she
Liberty.
said was so much worse than anything David Letterman
Way
did.
over the line.
You don't just get on that list.
Yeah, you can't just get on there. You got to work at it. He raped those 2 girls.
Yes.
Jesus.
And
He
then
should be on the sex offenders list.
Then she started screaming at the building about
What'd the
how there
building
was
do?
an...
Oh, it's a bug. It's a bug.
There should be rape victims across the street protesting those people.
Holy shit.
That woman's out of her fucking mind.
Liberty?
Yeah, Liberty.
You're good at that stuff, Sam. I would get too emotional or too angry, but you know that stuff well.
Sam just
Sam
smiles
plays it
and is like,
perfectly.
yeah, really.
You can hear him laughing.
Well, I could never have a legitimate conversation with any of those people.
True. You're not going to change their mind.
And they're not as smart as a normal person is. Like, they're stupid. Why would you talk to them? They're not human beings.
Yes, you're harvesting material.
Exactly.
You would not talk to these people.
Just let them keep talking.
When I heard Liberty say, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, my first thought was, oh, the poor kids.
Yeah.
You have to deal with that shit in your life.
I just went by
we
myself.
have to stay here for Grandma Liberty. Is she coming? All right, I just want to. I don't like Grandma Liberty.
No.
Her breath smells.
Yeah.
Actually, if you look at the Fox News video that I was on, you can see Liberty.
Oh, that was her?
Yeah, Liberty's in the yellow jacket.
Yeah.
Really
Where did we
fiercely leading the pack.
Who's that bitch?
Well, good news. There were people that were for David Letterman. We got
Yes.
one of those
Cool.
one of those people next here. Just to
Justin
mix
from
it
the
up
Ed
a
Sullivan
little
Theater.
Just to mix it up a little bit, we got that. But you want to see Liberty?
Yeah, I do. I have to. I want nothing more than to see Liberty.
Is that Liberty right there?
No, that's not Liberty.
They all have shitty dry hair too.
Yeah, the big messes.
Some of the people wouldn't talk to me.
Language. Who's this? Fucking Steven Spielberg?
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
What are they going to say? Dave Letterman was a wise man. He was a kind man.
Liberty's head in his lap.
I know.
You know what? If you didn't know what the issue was, you couldn't tell if these people were conservative or liberal because they're all insane when you get to that level of protesting.
I think they're beyond even like. I mean, they have their partisanship, but I think that they're just they're nutty people who desperately want to be heard.
Yeah, they need an outlet. They never have one. They go home. Their husbands just ignore them because they're fucking babbling shitheads.
That's her with the big sign right there with those glasses.
But look at her wanting to be a part of things so badly, so ill-informed.
Look at her. Oh, we're going. Okay, I'll meet you there.
Yuck.
Making plans. Could you imagine her making the plans beforehand?
Sure. Well, her sign is extremely wordy and typed.
Yeah, really. What the fuck? How could you read that?
You can't.
So, Liberty, what do you want to do before we get ready? Well, let's eat a lot and then put on Dr. Octopus's glasses and a yellow outfit and then head out the door with a long sign that nobody will read.
Those are De Niro at the end of Casino glasses.
Yeah, she's great. Hope she got the same car.
She's picking horses.
She's a body like Pesci. She should be in her underwear being tossed into a hole in fucking Indiana. Liberty's a silly goose.
Her sign was littered with misspellings.
Of course it was.
Why wouldn't it?
You can't attack somebody for that.
Why wouldn't it? Boss sticking up for that part of it.
Why don't we meet someone that was for David Letterman?
Excellent idea. Balance it out.
Here it is.
Would you mind? What?
What's the haps?
What? What does that mean? What's the haps?
Well, I see you're making quite a ruckus here.
I'm very upset at what David Letterman has said about raping children and pooping on them and feeding them in improper places and taking them out to the laundry and spinning them on the ground and playing them with wiffle ball and using them to bowl and putting punch on their heads and feeding them Cool Ranch Doritos when nacho cheese is clearly the more delicious brand.
He didn't say any of that, sir.
Okay, well then I'm wrong, and I must leave this protest now. Goodbye, everyone. I have to go home!
Sir, who are you talking?
Damn it, everyone's in on this!
Who are you talking to?
It's not funny!
Sir, who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the press over here. Where are you from? Where are you from? What are you? What is this?
Sir!
Yes, sir.
You're making a mockery of this
Who
protest.
is he from? You're the presserazzi? Isn't that what your name is?
Sir!
Are you with the Letterman show? No, am I for rape? Huh? That's like asking me if I'm for NAMBLA. And I am. But keep that on your...
Sir, did you just say you represent NAMBLA?
I do.
What's your name?
Stephen Baldwin.
Goddamn, Dave is funny, man.
Yeah, that's fucking...
Who was he entertaining?
All the press just started circling him and just like laughing at him because he was making a mockery. He then rolled around on the floor and started barking like a dog and laid down and lifted his shirt up and exposed his stomach. And
God damn.
What do we got there?
M&M's are good.
What?
Nothing new.
Just scroll down a little. No, whatever you want to do.
That was great. And that's
That's
it.
funny, man.
yeah, there were a
God.
lot of crazies out yesterday.
That was bravo to Sam. He found some kooks for us.
Liberty.
Liberty.
And
I mean, don't let Liberty make you forget about Patty.
No. Patty was good too with the rape.
The two
Rape.
MVPs of the pack.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Right.
definitely the standouts.
Definitely.
Oh, to wrap up our Letterman thing, this is a big clip today, I guess. New controversy. Jack Black was on the show. It's really quick.
Uh-oh.
And
It's going to be wild, I bet.
yeah, he let out an F-bomb.
'Cause the Phoenix will really, I wanted to say a different word there, will rise again. Jump, chicka, jump. It's more like a jump, chicka, jump, because the Phoenix will fucking rise again. All right, that's it. That's it for now.
Well, no shit.
The hell was that?
Phoenix.
Where was the F-bomb, by the way?
It was in the fucking, he said it like that.
Yeah, you could barely tell.
So sick of that singing shit.
Not a fan of the singing shit, eh?
No!
Jimmy?
I'm not.
Yeah.
He thinks he's,
I don't sing when I go on talk shows.
oh, look at how crazy
I'm a fan
it
of
is
the
with that
eyebrow
eye.
thing he does.
Oh, the eyebrow, yes.
I love when he does the eyebrow
Same
thing.
photographers Bobby Kelly has.
Fuck Jack Black. Go fuck yourself.
That's a Belushi thing, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, that's Belushi's thing.
He should do that other thing he did. You know, the last thing?
Yep. I know.
Yeah.
Wow, that just put us all in a bad mood.
He's wild.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
crazy.
Wild.
Why don't we-
Another picture with the eyebrow. All right, we get it.
How many eyebrow pics do we have? of
Every
Jack Black?
picture of him.
Everyone?
Every
Google
single
image
one.
him. Wait, let's guess. All right.
I'm going to guess 4,375.
Pictures of him with the eyebrow thing
Yes.
happening?
Yeah.